Let's get nasty on a Wednesday. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 202, your time check, brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Appreciate everybody listening via the 101 ESPN Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's mobile app or in our Snake Pit, which is our YouTube channel. Appreciate each and every one of you. You know how you can get a hold of us throughout the course of the show today. Love the listener participation. The Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Or again, hit us up in our YouTube chat, which is our Snake Pit. Nice job, Carey. Cardinals win again. 7-4 winners over the Orioles. They even the series.
Cardinals? I'm sorry. I got excited.
No, I like that. I like that, Jerry.
Yeah.
Biggest storyline as we break this down, the exit survey. Biggest storyline for you, Carey.
Jordan Walker wasn't going to start, and then he did. And he's been hitting the ball really hard, really well. And it's fun. And I'm proud of him. I'm happy. I'm like a proud pop. Never met him. Not my child, obviously.
Never met him?
I haven't met him.
You'd like him.
But I think he's an outstanding young player.
Really nice
I'm rooting for him. Wasn't supposed to start. Had 2 hits, 1 triple. He smoked that one.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's up the middle, right center. Like, he's starting to see the ball well. Mm-hmm. He's not trying to pull everything. He's not pulling off of everything. He's hitting it where they're pitching it. And he's having success. You know,
he certainly is.
Yeah.
I love when he takes that pitch that they're trying to get him out on that outer half, whether it's a slider or a cutter, and they're throwing it just off the plate, and he is often extending his zone, not getting a hit, striking out, pulling the head off. But when he stays down on that pitch and drives it to right field, like we've talked about before, he's got a ton of upper body strength. Mm-hmm. So if he goes with that pitch, it will be a double. It will be a home run. It will be an extra base hit. Jamie, your biggest storyline from last night?
Well, for me, I keep admiring the play of Lars Nootbaar. I just am. You know, him in the leadoff spot, he gets things going quickly right away. 3 for 4 last night. Again, he hits the Ding Dong Johnson, which is great. A team leading, by the way, Ding Dong Johnson for Lars Nootbaar. I feel like, knock on wood, this season he's been healthy, and we're finally seeing the real version of Lars Nootbaar. It looks pretty damn good.
My biggest storyline was that just the offensive surge again for the Cardinals. This team, as we've discussed, it's never out of a game. They blew the 3-0 lead to the Orioles, looked a little shaky. Then they come alive. The offense comes alive. 14-hit barrage, including home runs from Lars Nootbaar, who you just mentioned, and Nolan Arenado. Arenado's 8th-inning solo shot sealed the win. Nootbaar's 2nd-inning homer provided the early lead for the Cardinals. They capitalized on some pitching troubles once again for Baltimore, so they scored the 7 runs, 14 hits, including multiple extra base hits. This offense is fun to watch. So to me, that was the biggest storyline. What about you, Marsh?
I think the biggest storyline for me was Andre Palante's balk. No, I'm just kidding.
That was pretty bad.
He almost fell.
He did. The baseball.
I'm shocked he didn't throw the baseball on that, even as he was tilting forward.
He might have thrown it. He probably would have thrown it over Herrera's head had he let it go, which may have given you more than just one base.
Yeah,
so
we'll never know.
For me, it's Nolan Arenado. Like we were talking about him yesterday. Why it was a good idea to not let him go. Whether that was out of luck or whatever it was, he ends up providing the go-ahead run late in that game. We saw that happen on Friday against Arizona. So not only is his defense playing, but his bat is starting to work at key times when the Cardinals need him. And so for me, that's the storyline of the game is Nolan Arenado.
My biggest kudos goes to Andre Palante. Palante, he delivered a stellar performance, I thought. Now, you don't love the fact that he gave up the lead. He had the one home run off him by O'Hearn, but O'Hearn is, crushing the baseball lately. He's been red hot. He was certainly backed by the offense, but he struck out 7. That's really not his game. His control and composure was pretty evident, I thought. Faced 27 batters, 16 first pitch strikes. Outing, I thought, was a significant contribution to the Cards' success last night. So that's my kudos. The storyline was the offense, but I'll give Palante some roses as well. Jamie?
Yeah, mine's going to Nolan Arenado. It just is. To Marshy's point, he just keeps contributing, and it doesn't always look the same every day what he's contributing. Some days it's a diving play at third and a great throw to first, or another day it's diving into the crowd to get a foul ball playing through getting hurt. And yesterday was a home run, which we don't expect that really from him on a regular basis anymore. So kudos to Nolan Arenado just for showing up every day and making a difference, knowing that his game isn't what it used to be.
I'm giving it to Steven Matz. He 1 hit, no earned runs, 1 strikeout, 1 in the third. He has a 1.91 ERA.
Good.
He is pretty damn good this year, and I am enjoying watching him perform. He's not getting beat up. He's healthy, and I've said this time. The only issue that Steven Matz has had his entire tenure here has been injuries. He's not staying healthy, and when he's not healthy, not performing well. And so when he's healthy, he's been really good, and he has been outstanding in the bullpen. You can trust him if you need a 6th starter. If you want to go to a 6-man rotation, you trust him there as well. He is probably the most unassuming guy in the bullpen. I don't think anybody talks about him enough, but he's been doing a fantastic job. So I'm going to give him my kudos today.
My kudos goes to Lars Nootbaar. He was struggling for a few games, and then all of a sudden he has a great game last night. 3 hits, 4 at-bats. I thought he was the catalyst that's somewhat started the Cardinals offense early in that game. And so shout out to Lars Nootbaar, who's back in the saddle, as the kids say these days.
And
right?
he took his fellow countryman deep, too.
Yeah.
How about that?
Sure did.
Nice work there, Canadians.
Yep.
The biggest criticism, it could have been more offensively. It really could have. They left 8 runners on base, 5 for 12 with runners in scoring position. The criticism could have easily been, a positive. I mean, they could have hung 7 more runs on the board. They are incredibly locked in right now. Now, when they fail to capitalize, obviously the scoring opportunities, you highlight those. When you score 7 runs and you have 14 hits, it's hard to criticize. But you got 14 hits, there's going to be a lot of runners on. So that would be my only criticism, but it's not much of a criticism.
That's where I was going. Is not cashing more guys in. It's some runners in scoring position. He left on base. Jordan Walker, struck out on the one where he had, I think, somebody on second base. Bases were loaded. Arenado strikes out. Like there are opportunities to score a lot more than 7 runs. They didn't need more than 7, but I always go back to, well, what if you needed them? So I had the same thought as you.
My criticism, unlike you guys, is going to be for Palante. I know he struck out 7, but you got a 3-run lead. You can't let that lead up. And that ball he gave up to O'Hearn was like, that was a rocket.
He knew it.
It sounded good. It was a rocket, and it got out of there really quickly. So that would be my biggest criticism. You're up 3-0. Your team has done more than enough for you to win that game. You can't give up 4 runs and then be down, and they got to claw their way back into it.
Sure.
Yeah, that's my criticism too, and it's kind of like the biggest question that I have after last night's game is can we just have a game where I'm not on the edge of my seat for an entire 9 innings?
Oh, how dare you ask for that?
Do they have to come back in every single game in order to win? Is that the formula? Can they just win like 6-2 and it'll be just an easy breezy game?
Against the rules.
That's against. Okay, sorry for asking. I'm glad they're winning. I just wish I didn't stress out for 2 to 3 hours a night every single time they play.
Yeah. Well, isn't it fun though?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think it is.
Absolutely.
Fun.
Guys, they're 31-24. Remember they're terrible on the road?
Oh yeah.
Now they're only 12-16. They're getting there. This team's locked in. I don't know if they're going to play tonight. That's the biggest question I think that's remaining for the series.
This team's good, guys.
Whether or not they're going to play. They are.
This team's good. I did not
Plus 43 run differential.
I did not see this coming. I did say this at the maybe in the off season, and right here on these airwaves, I said they kind of got the same team they had last year. It might be better if they didn't make any moves. But no way in any shape or form was I saying or predicting this team was going to be better or good. I thought, maybe, Let's try to be optimistic, some would say.
Yeah, I think we all kind of said, would you be shocked? Would you be shocked if this team was decent?
Yes.
No. You would have been shocked?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I felt like the four of us were on the same page of we wouldn't be shocked.
I said when it was like the 80 to 83 wins, I was like, yeah, I could see that. They're really proud of that 83 wins. We can get there again.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think they will.
Yeah.
And surpass it. So
they're going to have to.
shove that, Pacoda. You know what I mean? Yeah.
100%.
All right. Glad we're all on the same page. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Is an Oilers Panthers rematch the best for the NHL? And what does it mean for Connor McDavid's legacy? That's next on 101 ESPN.
Huge game tonight in the NHL playoffs. The Florida Panthers, Carolina Hurricanes. I looked it up at Circus Sports Illinois on the app, and they've got the Panthers at minus 115. I'm going with the Panthers on the money line. They got some players back in the lineup. I think they close it out tonight. And I found all of that, again, on my Circus Sports Illinois app. They've got great lines on all their futures bets over there. Tight money line splits. We just talked about that. And they've got the best odds of any app that's out there. Download any app that is out there. Check the odds out. Compare them, and you'll see that Circus Sports has got them beat. Better odds mean bigger payouts, and that's what Derek Stevens, the owner of Circus Sports Las Vegas, wants for you. Derek Stevens wanted to put the world's largest sports book in the palm of your hand, and he's done that. So please download Circus Sports Illinois, the app. Find it on the website or the App Store. Just please don't miss out on the action. Download Bet Like a Pro with your Circus Sports Illinois app today and join in on all the excitement. If you or someone you know may have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. The Oilers are up 3-1 in their series with the Dallas Stars tomorrow night. Edmonton can eliminate Dallas on the Stars' home ice. And, of course, tonight, the Panthers can eliminate the Hurricanes on their home ice. Let's start here. You guys think the Oilers-Panthers rematch is the best thing for the NHL, given given just the star power with Edmonton, the Panthers being the Stanley Cup, the fact that it went 7 games last year, do you think this is the best scenario for the NHL, given the current matchups?
Based on this year, I'll say yes. And only because the Dallas Stars, if they got Mikko Rantanen, but the Dallas Stars really don't, this is going to sound weird, they don't have a lot of star power. They got some good players. Jamie Benn's aging, Tyler Seguin's aging. They've got Jason Robertson, but it's not like anybody in, Southern Florida knows who Jason Robertson is.
Right.
Mikko Rantanen, his name moves the needle, but for hockey fans, it does. Mm-hmm. For casual fans, I don't know if they know who that guy is. Florida's pretty easy. Matthew Tkachuk, after the Four Nations thing, the whole continent knows who that guy is. And they know the Panthers are defending Stanley Cup champions. And the casual fan who maybe picked up the remote last year and turned it on, saw the Oilers and the Panthers, saw a hell of a series, got to know who Connor McDavid was at that point. So I think familiarity in this situation makes this a more watched Stanley Cup final. If, of course, both teams get there. I mean, they're ahead 3-1 in the series. The odds would say they're going to play each other, but you never know. Crazier things have happened. But I think for this season in particular, this is probably the best matchup.
Yeah, I agree. I think, being able to run it back last year was the Panthers was up 3-0. They were up 3-0, and then the Oilers were able to claw back into it and tie the series, and now you got a Game 7, and the Panthers were able to win it, and you're like, oh. And you also have Connor McDavid, who is arguably the greatest player in hockey right now. I don't even know if it's an argument.
There's an argument there.
I mean, you might have some people that disagree. I don't know who those people are. But they are, I'm sure there are a few out there that are contrarians, and they believe that he's not. But he is. He's been outstanding. And so for me, being able to run it back, knowing how that series ended last year, knowing that you forced a Game 7 and you were down 3-0, and now you have a chance to start fresh, you know what that'll feel like to the Panthers were already in their second Stanley Cup if they make it back there in their third, and now the Oilers being in their second. There's something about having been there and not, poo-pooing in the moment. Like sometimes when you get in there, you're like, oh, God, the moment's too big. Yeah. And I think that's what happened for the Oilers when they got there and they were down 3-0 before they could even blink their eyes. And then they figured it out, but just ran out of time. It just wasn't enough left in the tank. So watching, if they're able to have a rematch of last year's series, it might go 6 or 7 again, and the outcome could possibly be different. And I think hockey fans and fans around the country would be tuned into that.
So you know what's interesting is during the season, Amazon or Prime had that TV show where they went behind the scenes following certain players around. One was Connor McDavid, one was Matthew Tkachuk.
Yeah.
And behind the scenes, you got to see Connor McDavid's frustration in the Stanley Cup Finals, and you got to see, the anger when it was over, the elation for Matthew Tkachuk.
Right.
Like, you had all these things. So the story is there.
Right.
The story is there. And people who saw that series, people who watched that series last year, the Amazon thing, all that, they know that Connor McDavid is possessed this year wanting to win the Cup.
Dig the fast lane in right now.
Get the camera out of here.
I think this is perfect for the NHL because we've seen this happen before. Wayne Gretzky in the 80s took on the New York Islanders, the team that beat the Edmonton Oilers the year prior. Edmonton would then go on to win the Stanley Cup. That's Wayne Gretzky. He's the great one. Enough said about that. We saw it happen in the late 2000s. Sidney Crosby takes on Detroit. They lose that first matchup. They come back the next year, play Detroit again. Sidney Crosby gets his first Stanley Cup. And now we're seeing it play out again with the best player in the world right now. I think this is the best thing for the NHL. And I do think, Carey, that things change this year. I think Connor McDavid wins his first Stanley Cup.
And
fat chance of that one.
And if that happens, I want to, and that was the other part of the question, legacy.
Yeah.
Right? You won the Four Nations face-off. You had the golden goal. You got a gold medal. And then you take your team to another Stanley Cup and you're able to win a championship. Where are we at now? I mean, I know he's the greatest player in the game, and obviously he got a long way to go. He got some time before if he's ever able to catch Wayne Gretzky. We know that that's a tough task in terms of points. Probably never happen. But
you can combine him and Draisaitl.
But just the standard of one of the best hockey players of all time heading in that direction. You win a championship after winning a gold medal and having the year that he's potentially going to have. Where does that put his legacy at?
Yeah, look, I agree with everything you just said. All the best players in the game, you want them to have all won a championship. No matter what sport it is, you always want the greatest players to win a championship. Now, not all of them do. And we talk about those guys, in passing sometimes, like, man, never got to win one, or, was there a couple of times, couldn't do it. But I just think the Oilers, it's going to be tough, man. Zach Hyman's out now for the rest of the playoffs. He had some surgery today, and he's, the net front presence on the power play. Scored a ton of goals last year in the playoffs and in the Stanley Cup final. We'll see how it works out. So Connor McDavid, as much as he is the best player in the game, he's going to have to be even more than that if they're going to try and beat the Panthers.
Yeah, legacy is kind of tricky, right? If we talk about his legacy, he being Connor McDavid, it really starts, I think, with the impact. The statistics alone make him, I think, a top 15 player ever. But when it comes to his skating, his puck handling, the way that he plays, I think young players want to. He's one of many players right now where young players want to model. Right? They watch him. They watch the speed, the finesse, the intelligence, the work ethic. It's all there. I think you have to have the impact of the game count for the legacy. But the bottom line is, without a Stanley Cup, I wonder if. And Jamie, you can help me with a comparison here, but I kind of think of like Eric Lindros, dominant, but with an asterisk. Not similar in terms of how they played.
Yeah, no, I know. Obviously.
It's just Eric Lindros. Hockey fans know who Eric Lindros was, right? But without a cup, there's that asterisk of, really great dominant player. Didn't win one.
Yeah, I agree. There's Joe Thornton, too, played forever. One of the best passers ever in the game. Didn't win a Stanley Cup. You can go through and find enough guys that were unreal players, not to the caliber of Connor McDavid. But it's wild because how the Oilers' success goes will be how McDavid goes. Because if the Panthers are able to shut him down, keep him off the scoreboard, relatively speaking, they did a pretty good job last year in the final. He was so frustrated after the first 3 games. That's why I thought it was going to be a sweep. But then he found another level at that point and drug his team back to a Game 7. So nothing's impossible when it comes to Connor McDavid. It's going to be fun to watch. And I know we've written off the Canes and the Stars here already, down 3-1. But I don't see a path to where it's not the Oilers and the Panthers at this point.
No, I agree.
I was going to ask you, I know Sam Reinhart missed the last game. He should be playing in the next one, but that's an injury. I don't know what the injury is. Hockey never gives us info.
It's a lower body.
Yeah, that's cool. So we don't really know what that injury is, but I'm sure that's going to be nagging for the rest of the playoffs. Whatever it was, if it caused you to miss a game, it's going to be nagging. Nico Mikkola missed the game as well. So there are injuries on both sides. It's a war of attrition once you get down here towards the end of the playoffs and trying to figure out how you're going to survive and make it through.
Yeah, Reinhart, Mikkola, and Greer will be back tonight.
Okay.
For the Panthers, but to what extent, you don't know.
Yeah.
As far as the Oilers are concerned, Hyman's done for the season at this point. It's going to be tough to replace him, although Corey Perry got bumped up in the lineup last night. Imagine that, bumping up the 40-year-old who's still making a difference out there. But yeah, we'll see if Reinhart's not quite healthy, if he can't do what he always does, if Mikkola's not able to defend the way he does, then that does change some things. It opens up certainly an avenue for the Oilers to get to that Stanley Cup championship.
We get a text from the 314. I have zero desire to watch a rematch. I've completely tuned out. Do you think this texter is suffering from like the fatigue of
he's a Blues fan.
Champions?
I think that you nailed it. It's just suffering from the fatigue of already seeing it.
Right.
That I saw it. Saw last year. Went to 7. It was exciting. I'm talking like the texter.
And can the sequel be better?
Nah.
It
could have had to go Game 7 of
overtime.
Right.
And I guess the Oilers winning it this time around.
If you don't like greatness, I understand.
There's 2 types of people in the world, and we know it. It's fine. You either love seeing a dynasty and it impresses you and you respect it, or you absolutely hate seeing a team being successful for more than one season.
Yeah, very true.
But like, what other team out of the 4 after watching these games makes you excited to see? Like, I don't want to see Carolina in the Stanley Cup. I didn't want to see him before the series started. I definitely don't want to see him now. Not at all. What have the Stars done?
Right. Nothing.
They've done nothing. I wasn't really impressed with them going back to the first round.
I will say this, and I mean it. Winnipeg didn't do great against the Stars. If the Blues would have closed out that game, I think the Blues could right now be playing the Oilers.
Oh, don't say that. That's going to make me upset the rest of the day.
You know what, Marshy? It made me upset watching that crap last night, knowing what I know. And so now I wanted to pass that on to you and all the ear holes out there.
I'm upset because you're
I
right.
want you to feel my pain.
You're absolutely right.
I know. Their style of play the Dallas Stars would have struggled with the style of play.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN.
You're welcome.
Thank you. What's the reason for the dramatic turnaround in the Cards' starting rotation? I think there's a couple of different ways you can look at this. We'll dive into it next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals take on the Orioles tonight. 5:35 first pitch. We'll see if they actually get this game in. It is raining in Baltimore, so we'll keep you updated on that one. Miles Michaelis on the mound for the Cardinals. Michaelis has been pretty good since his outing in Boston. 4-1 record, a 2.08 ERA, 1.02 whip in 43 and a third inning. Miles Michaelis once again on the mound for the Redbirds, and that'll lead us into our next conversation. What's the reason for the dramatic turnaround in the Cardinals starting rotation? That's next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. What's the reason for the dramatic turnaround in the Cards' starting rotation?
Simple.
What do you got, Carey?
They're pitching better.
That's actually a really good take.
Coming up next. Carey did it.
Boom. We're done.
Boom.
He solved it.
One and done.
If you had to choose one thing maybe a little bit more specific than they're pitching better.
Throwing more strikes.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, no, they're definitely throwing more strikes. Unless you're Eric Fetty.
Wow.
He did pitch a complete game.
Don't just cherry pick one guy,
don't
Anthony.
put
You said
no,
rotation.
Fetty Wap. I would say.
So I said, unless you're Eric Fetty.
So a couple of years ago, one thing that drove me crazy when they were kind of picking Wilson Contreras apart, the pitch location was terrible. There were literally times where Wilson was damn near laying on the ground saying, "Hey, throw it here," and they leave it over the heart of the plate. Wilson called it. No, idiot. You didn't throw it where he asked you to put it. Yeah, I mean, if I'm on the ground, my glove is touching the ground. That's where I wanted that, and you threw it over the heart of the plate. Now it's out in McCovey Cove, and you're wondering why it's Wilson's fault. No, it's not his fault. So pitch location, Liberatore, his fastball has picked up. The pace has picked up. I don't know what happened. You know, the mechanic. I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
He's gotten better.
Let's not do that.
I know. Just kidding.
And so I think pitch location has been better. I think velocity in some cases has been better. They're still not a swing and miss staff, but they are also. I think the defense behind them has been better. So when your defense is better behind you, you obviously you tend to look better on the mound. Less holes to find for balls to find, and you don't you don't want those balls finding those holes.
No, certainly not.
Yeah,
got to win some games, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know what one thing to pinpoint when the rotation is being discussed, because I feel like there's a lot of things to talk about. One, Steven Matz is no longer in your rotation. Matthew Liberatore is in your rotation. Lance Lynn and Gibby are out, and Sonny Gray is pitching better. Miles Michaelis is having a really good stretch right now. So I hate to celebrate it all and be like, oh, man, they got it all figured out. But I also hate to be, Nancy negative too, and be like, well, Miles Michaelis, he could blow up any point now, and I'm still not all that confident in Liberatore. And just wait, someone's going to get injured because it's going to happen. I just think that overall, I think their approach to each at bat, meaning the pitcher's approach, is they're being aggressive. So they're not trying to nibble at the corners. They're leaning into their defense-first mentality. They're trusting the guys behind them to make the plays defensively, and they are. It's the best baseball team in the league defensively right now, and that makes the pitchers a little more confident that when the ball gets put into play, it's going to get taken care of. That's the only thing I notice.
Well, there's a point from the 618 that says the biggest reason is health. Look at all the teams dealing with injuries to their rotation. And I was coming in yesterday. I was listening to Ali on a different station. He was talking about the 6-man rotation in April, how that alleviated some of those injuries. You're not putting as much stress, how a lot of pitching staffs do get injuries in the month of April because the season is just starting. It's still a little cool outside. You got these guys going in. By implementing the 6-man rotation, it allowed to stretch those guys out, give them an extra day, and not be worried about the injuries. So that's also part of it. That's a great point. That's also part of it. Not having injuries to your starting rotation. They all, knock on wood, they all have been able to make each start so far this year. If I'm not, they haven't missed a start yet, have they?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Nope, they haven't. For me, if you look at it from like last year, right, because that's what we're comparing it to, what's the reason for the dramatic turnaround for the Cardinals this year? First and foremost, Sonny Gray and Andre Pallante, their numbers are fairly similar. Depending on what statistic you look at, they're both slightly worse than they were a year ago. But overall, the consistency has been there from Sonny Gray and from Andre Pallante. But the two biggest differences, Matthew Liberatore has replaced Kyle Gibson, essentially. And Gibson was fine last year at a 4.24 ERA. He brought some steadiness, but Liberatore has been off the charts. He's got a 2.73 ERA, the FIP 2.51, the xFIP 3.35. So there's a dramatic turnaround, right? Like there's one thing. The other dramatic turnaround is Miles Michaelis.
Yeah,
he had a 5.35 ERA last year. He's got a 3.51 ERA this season. So those two things, I think, are the two elements that I look at that were different from a year ago. Miles Michaelis has essentially replaced the bad version of himself with the good version of himself. And Matthew Liberatore has replaced Kyle Gibson. So those are the two significant turnarounds. But I do think that what you guys bring up about the defense has to be highlighted as well. The defensive runs... the outs that they have saved, right? Outs above replacement, whatever. That has highlighted the fact that the defense has dramatically improved. So you got a couple of guys that really, for lack of a better word, pitch to contact. Defense has been outstanding. So Michaelis and Pallante and Fetty, guys that are largely ground ball pitchers, have been able to rely on a great defense. And then Liberatore stepping into the rotation, and again, Michaelis being the best version of himself, or a better version than himself. Those are the two things that I think are dramatically different.
How confident are we as a group, and I'll ask you guys, how confident are you that we're going to continue to see the best version of all these guys? Like, we talked about best version of Miles Michaelis. My hang-up is Matthew Liberatore. Are we going to continue to see the best version that we've ever seen of Matthew Liberatore? Don't know. Like, how confident are you in those things?
I really like. I think I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I think Libby is showing that he is.
So you're more confident that Libby stays the way he is than Michaelis?
I honestly think Libby gets better.
I do too.
As the season progresses and going into next year, as long as he stays healthy, like I think you're starting to see what people expect. It just took longer than people expected it to. There was so much frustration. Oh, Randy Rosarena's playing well, and we got this guy. Who the hell is he? But now they've given him the runway. It's no yo-yoing. And I talked about that before with Matthew Liberatore. When you are a player, when you don't have a defined role and coming in day to day, you don't know what the hell you're doing, or year to year, it's kind of flip-flopping. It's hard to get comfortable. And I think going into the season, he is extremely comfortable. There was a runway. He knew exactly what he was going to have. There was not going to be any yo-yoing. You weren't going to be in the bullpen or sent down to the minors. You either sink or swim, and this was an opportunity, and he's swimming the hell out of it. He's doing a great job.
I'm with you, CD, in terms of Liberatore. I have more faith in Liberatore because I'm going with the talent at this point. Like this was somebody that at one point was the top left-handed pitching prospect in the Rays organization. Yep. This is an organization that scouts and develops pitching and really any player really well. Maybe not to a championship level because they can't spend to keep those players. But Matthew Liberatore was a stud prospect in the game. Miles Michaelis, I think we've seen more bad than good out of him over the last couple of years. So with Michaelis, I just view it as, can you continue to do this for one season? If so, you move forward, you move on. You got, he wound up being a pretty good Cardinal for you. He wasn't a total disaster in his final season of that contract. Great. Move forward here. But I still have a little bit more. I hope that continues because he's got to rely on the defense. Liberatore isn't necessarily a high strikeout guy, but he generates a lot of chase. He keeps hitters off balance. I don't know if Miles Michaelis can continue to do what he's doing compared to Liberatore if I'm going to choose one horse.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. Same thing for you?
Yeah, no,
I know you posed the question, but
I posed it, and after I posed it, I said I really shouldn't have said anything about Liberatore because I feel more comfortable with where he is right now, where he's going to be. Mm-hmm. I'm still nervous about Miles Michaelis because, like, who knows? Next month, it could blow up for him. He could have 4 or 5 bad starts in a row, and then, as an organization, you're like, okay, is it McGreevy time? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think as long as they're steady and the Cardinals are winning, I don't think you see any movement in the starting rotation. If you get an injury, possibly, I think the move would probably be Steven Matz going straight to the starting rotation. If you get a couple of injuries, then maybe you see one of those guys get an opportunity. But I don't think McGreevy is on his way because I think they're comfortable and confident with what they have right now. And again, if one guy goes down, I think you just put Steven Matz in there because he's been performing well in that relief role, and you know that he's capable of being a starter because he's done it this year and in the past.
Yeah, you got options, which is good. And going back to the health, the texter brought up the health. If you continue to stay healthy, you'll have those options. Yeah. Depth is great until you need it, right? So at least you have guys that you can lean on that are at least intriguing, or a veteran option like Steven Matz. Did City SC miss their chance to capture the casual fan? I know Marsh certainly thinks that way, and we'll dive into the latest on City SC next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, are you looking to sell your home right now in the St. Louis market? Let me help you out. Call Gloria Lute with your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria has been in the business for a really long time, and she understands where the market is going currently. And most of all, she understands the St. Louis area market because everybody knows different areas of St. Louis have different pricing on homes. And the worst mistake you can make is listening to somebody who doesn't know the market properly, and they'll just tell you something you want to hear, and you'll overprice your home thinking you're going to strike it rich. Then your home sits there for a month, 2 months. You got to lower your price again, and you end up right where you should have been to start with, but you've lost all that time. Don't do that. Call Gloria Lute. She will price your home accordingly to make you the most money possible, but also get you to the closing table quickly because you don't want the hassle sitting in there forever. Once you want to sell your home, you just want to get out of there. So call Gloria Lou. Tell her Jamie Rivers sent you in. Her number is 314-325-6888. Again, that's 314-325-6888. Or you can always visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. City SC has released head coach Olaf Melberg. He was hired in November, and the results, boys, not great. Current record, 2 wins, 8 losses, 5 draws. Team ranks 14th in the Western Conference with a 0.73 points per game average, or goals per game average, I should say. Struggled with scoring goals overall. And City SC is already going with yet a new manager. City 2 head coach David Critchley will serve as the caretaker manager of the first team while the permanent replacement is sought.
Oh,
not great. Marsh, this led you to think about perhaps a failed opportunity for City SC.
Yeah, absolutely. After that first year, it seemed like there was a lot of energy, not only from the passionate fans that are always going to support, they're always going to be there, but for fans that were just getting into soccer or the idea of there being an MLS team here. And this is all happening while the Cardinals are not playing well. They're missing the playoffs. The Blues are missing the playoffs. And so you're thinking, okay, maybe this team itself could sort of galvanize the city, and then we'll have a playoff team for years to come while our 2 big hitters here in St. Louis are struggling. That is not the case anymore. The Cardinals are back. The Blues are back. The Battlehawks are the best team in the UFL, and City SC is one of the worst teams in MLS. Mm-hmm. It's just not a good recipe. They did not capitalize off that really good first year. Unfortunately, they lost in the playoffs, but I don't think they've gained any momentum. In fact, I think they've gone backwards, and that's not good for a young organization. So now if you're asking people to spend their money, the casual fan, where are they going to go? Well, they're probably going to go to a Blues game. They're probably going to go to a Cardinals game, even though the Cardinals are still trying to get their fans back into the ballpark. I think those fans are probably like, I'd rather go to a Cardinals game, or I'd rather go to a Battlehawks game, because the Battlehawks are playing good football right now. I think that City SC is now 4th on that totem pole, whereas they could have been higher if they would have taken advantage of this little stretch where the Cardinals and Blues were not having success.
Yeah, I would agree with everything you said, Marshy. Really, the first year created a swell of interest. And obviously the diehard soccer fans, we know who you are. You don't have to text us and tell us how great you are.
no, please do.
Okay, then text us all you want. And this is not a shot at the diehard soccer fan. They're going to show up no matter what. Mm-hmm. But City SC, with firing how many coaches now? They fired Bradley Carnell.
Third coach in 3 years.
They replaced him with another guy. They didn't rehire that guy, so they hired Olaf. Now they fired Olaf again. So they're on to coach number 4. And nobody knows what the hell the team... They can't score. Their offense is putrid. The only thing that's good for that team is Roman Berkey, and he was hurt for half the season. Mm-hmm. So what do you go... If for the casual fan, who, by the way, can't even watch it on TV, for the casual fan...
For free,
yeah. For the casual fan who wants to get involved with City SC or find out what it's all about, why? Like, why would you? Oh, the experience at the stadium is awesome. Great. That's awesome. Great. Then what?
Right.
We just made fun of the Cardinals in the offseason. We're talking about the game day experience. Mm-hmm. We talked about, what did we say that the real solution is?
Winning. Yep. Well, it's interesting, too, and it all starts with leadership, right? So they discussed how Melberg's, style, philosophy didn't align with...
Didn't they know that when they hired him?
Exactly. Thank you.
Sorry.
That's been a huge thing for the fans.
No, you're good.
They're not liking the way they're playing.
Well, here's the thing, though.
They're not scoring.
The front office has also said that, we've established this high-press, fast-paced style. Did you establish it?
You did with Bradley Carnell.
A little bit, right? There's a reason.
But that also ended poorly because, in my opinion, guys were tired. Like, I think you can that
they
style.
wore down. They started.
It's like watching this. No different than watching the New York Knicks. Mm-hmm. Like, they're good in the regular season, but by the time they get to the playoffs, they don't have any gas.
There's no juice, right?
So I don't know.
Well, I guess if they could get back to that, and even if they tire out, you'd rather watch that because it's entertaining soccer, and they have a chance. They have a potential chance to win. At least they were a playoff team at that point. You're right, Carey. That style probably grinded them down, but at least there was a style.
They had an identity, at least.
They had an identity. And to or Jamie, to your point, if you hired Melberg for a specific reason, and then you say, "Well, I didn't match our style," you should have known that when you hired him.
Are we starting to think about maybe that? Like this is the problem is higher up the food chain.
Well, Fonensteel's he's culpable, right?
He's got to be. If you're
letting go of managers left and right,
whatever the heck you call them, director of sport or whatever the title is. I'm not making fun of it, Marshy, because when I played in Europe too, they had like director of hockey, director of sports, sport direct. I'm like, my gosh, who the hell's who here? Lutz is the final say, apart from the ownership, obviously, and he's on his 4th coach now.
Yeah,
and the team has gotten worse every single season.
So Splashback Deuce in the Snake Pit said, I canceled my auto renewal of MLS on Apple TV, waiting to see how they did this year. I'm a little ashamed, but also it saved me $100. Nothing to be ashamed about.
No, nothing.
Jamie's right.
And you didn't miss anything.
If you're diehard soccer,
You're going to watch.
Maybe, or you're watching European soccer, right?
Yeah.
You're watching European football. You're waking up early and you're checking out the Premier Leagues. And I don't know. You're right, Marsh. This crashed and burned despite such a groundswell early on.
And here's the thing. The conference they play in, it ain't that great.
No.
It's not that great. This team's only 8 points out of a playoff spot.
Which is crazy.
They could absolutely...
With only 2 wins under their belt.
Switch things up and still make the playoffs. They have enough games to do so.
Yeah.
We've seen one team already do it, where they had a huge run. They went to the playoffs. Maybe that could change the narrative for City SC. I think they have to.
The problem is they don't have the personnel to score. Like, they just don't. And to me, that's a talent evaluation thing that starts at the top when they're bringing in players. They continuously bring in, I call them clock eaters. They pass the ball around, possess the ball, and they don't do anything offensively at all.
Right.
Nothing.
So they got 5 draws.
Yeah. And what are their goals for? It's putrid.
So get some. While you look that up, we'll get some more comments. Droid FX from the Snake Pit. I thought about buying the Apple TV, but Apple TV subscription, but the team sucks. So why should I watch it as a casual fan? Splashback Deuce also asked an important question, which I can answer. Didn't Caretaker die in the longest yard? He did.
Oh.
Starvin Marvin said, I'm a diehard soccer fan. It was tough to watch with how bad the product was.
Tough to watch Caretaker, too.
That was sad.
That was sad. It was real sad.
That was real sad.
And to have it pinned on the quarterback there was rough.
It was tough.
That didn't need to happen.
It didn't.
Yeah, it didn't
No,
have
certainly
to.
not.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Man.
Hopefully they figure it out. The product's got to be good. You can't just have the stadium open. Say, environment's great. We stand the entire time. That's fantastic. How's your product? Hadn't been good. Does any retool start with the youth? I think we're learning that with the Cardinals and certainly learning that with the Blues. It's next on 101 ESPN.
to the Fast Lane, 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter, and Andrew Marsh on the dials. Anthony teased before the break about does any retool start with the youth? And I think, Carey, what the thought is behind that is if you're going to retool, rebuild obviously starts with the youth. But if you're going to retool, which is which is what the Blues called it. And now the Cardinals, I don't know if they have called it a retool or a transformation or youth movement, whatever funny word they use for it.
The re-whatever.
According
to Army.
And where are your thoughts on this? Does it start with the youth?
Hell yeah. You can't start it with old guys. What the hell you doing?
Oh, I agree.
You can't rebuild something with older guys because at some point those older guys are going to break down.
Be like rebuilding a shed with old wood.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. You're going to have to replace it.
Might work for a year or two.
It might, but you're going to have to replace it pretty soon.
Uh-huh.
And so it's similar in that you do want to have a core of younger guys coming up and being the faces of the franchise, kind of the guys that are ushering in the new way of how you're doing things. And that seems to me to be the only way. That's why, I know we're going to talk about it later, that's why our guy Terry Bradshaw is so frustrated with the Steelers. What the hell are you doing? You can't start over with older players. You have to start with younger players, and hopefully you've done a good enough job of developing those guys, scouting those guys before you sign them to your roster or drafted them, developing them once they got on your roster, and now they're capable players to be good. I think Army has done a great job of that, whether it's through the draft or going out and signing restricted free agents. And now I think the Cardinals, we have to give credit where credit is due. Mo Zaylock has done a really good job of getting these younger players. I know people are going to be spewing hate at me here in the next few minutes because I gave John Mo Zaylock credit. How dare I?
What's wrong with you?
Fire Carey. There it is.
You got some younger players that are really good. And that comes from, the front office.
Yeah, so when I was watching the Cardinals last night, and you got Jordan Walker hitting 2 laser beams, and he's starting to come alive. Nolan Gorman with a really big hit as well. Now he's further behind, as we've discussed, just because he's had kind of a rough start to the year. But when you think about Mason Wynn and Victor Scott and these young guys, simultaneously, Matthew Liberatore, same deal, simultaneously developing in front of you. I thought about the Blues and where that retool started. And I think we can say, the retool actually started when Doug Armstrong decided to trade away some of the expiring contracts. Yeah, but it got fast-tracked when Broberg and Holloway and Zach Bolduc, Jake Neighbors, the young guys have kind of simultaneously developed in front of us. That, I think, jumpstarts the retool. It gets you it leaves the retool kind of in the rear view mirror quicker. And I think that's the same way for any sports organization, any team, any league. It comes with the youth. You're right, CD. You can't just say, well, we're gonna throw a whole bunch of age and experience at it.
They tried. The Cardinals tried.
The Cardinals tried that.
Boy, did they throw a lot of age at it.
A lot of age, man.
AARP cards everywhere.
As much as we like
the player version, like
you sign this? Is this my contract, Skip? No, it's your AARP card.
You are 10, 12 years in, buddy. You are a veteran. You got it.
As much as we love the line that we hear during the lineup game with Brad Pitt, saying anything that's hard, anything that is worth working for is going to be difficult, right? So. That's the same thing that applies to building a team, building a franchise, starting a company. There's no shortcuts unless you're willing to throw a whole bunch of money at it. Like the Phillies have tried to do.
That's scotch tape sometimes.
Sure.
Doesn't necessarily mean a championship, though.
It doesn't mean sustained success either.
Yeah.
Unless
if you get an older player, you throw a 3 or 4 year deal making buku bucks, it doesn't mean that you're going to win.
Right.
It means you found a player that has won before, that is a good player, but doesn't mean you're going to have a good team.
It also means, too, in my opinion, that you have to keep going that way. The Phillies signed Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber, and then they knew, okay, well, we got to keep going now. We have to re-sign Zach Wheeler. We have to maybe give Aaron Nola a contract extension. We have to sign Trey Turner. once you start down that road, you immediately say we're a contender, and now you're more aggressive at the deadline, which means what? Giving up prospects within your farm system. It's fine if you're the Dodgers and you constantly have one of the best farm systems and you're constantly replenishing it with good talent that everybody wants. But if you're the Phillies, Dave Dombrowski has done this at other locations too, and he's won. He won in Boston.
But it's not
He
sustainable.
nearly won in Detroit. Why is he on his third team now?
He has a shelf life doing what he does.
Yes. Give me that blank check, and I'm gonna win you a championship, or come damn close, like you did in Detroit. But then it's like, where's my farm system? Got rid of it.
Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about it.
You're going to suffer for the next handful of years.
And I won't be here.
And I'll be on to the next project.
Exactly. So I like, as we come full circle here, I like that the Cardinals and Blues have quote unquote done it the right way.
Yeah, and it's fun to watch both teams to where, yes, the Blues acquired Holloway and Broberg. They didn't draft and develop them, but they have a lot of players in their lineup and a lot of players that will be in the lineup the next couple of years that they did draft and develop. Cardinals, we talked about it last year, and we've highlighted it a number of times this year, just how many players on their current roster are homegrown. Even Liberatore, who's not drafted, but he's been developed here because Tampa only had him for a short period of time. So even though there's some guys that maybe were drafted elsewhere, you got them young, and now you're developing them, and they're making an impact on your current roster,
Right.
which is the exact way you retool a team, is by adding good youth that's ready to play in the majors, in the NHL, whatever sport you're talking about.
Right.
And you couple that with good veteran players who can help them along so that they're not carrying the entire weight of the team on their shoulders.
Definitely, yeah. And Doug Armstrong deserves credit for recognizing what the situation was in Edmonton and getting Holloway and Broberg like he did.
That's masterful.
Back when the Cardinals acquired Adam Wainwright, kind of like what you're talking with Liberatore, somebody that
Yes.
they had to scout. They had to scout and then develop.
Well, then
they didn't draft them, but they scouted and developed them.
And you hear the story of the Cardinals saying that this trade doesn't happen unless you throw in Adam Wainwright.
Right.
The whole thing hinged on getting Adam Wainwright, who nobody really knew anything about, except for the scouting staffs.
Yes.
And then obviously Adam Wainwright turns into what he is, or what he was and is currently, and got to give credit.
Definitely. Same thing with the NFL, Gary. If you want to turn around, if you want a quick retool, nail a draft.
Yeah.
We saw that with the Seahawks. When the Seahawks won
Their Super Bowl.
Drafted
a guy in the third round.
It was largely because of one draft. And almost every pick in that draft
Had success.
hit in some capacity, right? Like that was the Richard Sherman draft.
And Doug Baldwin was
I
in
think
that
Doug
draft
Baldwin
as well?
was in that draft. I can look it up, but if you want a quick turnaround, you do that. The Saints also did that. Now they didn't. That wasn't the year that they won the Super Bowl, but let's not forget they should have went to another Super Bowl had the refs not jobbed them against the Rams in the NFC title game the one year.
Oh, boy,
Passing
yeah.
interference call.
Yes, but
That was brutal.
it's another team that they had no cap space. We can't really go out and sign. We have a good team, but we can't add a bunch of guys because we're in cap hell constantly.
Yeah.
They nailed the draft and they wound up giving Drew Brees another opportunity to go to a Super Bowl.
You have to be good in the draft. You have to be good in your free agency. You have to be good in scouting and developing. And I think when you're talking about the Blues and the Cardinals, the Blues did their. It's funny because I didn't expect the Cardinals to make this shift this quickly. I thought it would be a couple of years. I thought all of these young players would have their bumps and bruises, and it would be much slower. The progression would be much slower than it is. The Blues, I felt like. Yeah, they did something different there. And you could see it right away. When Broberg and Holloway got here, you're like, oh, crap. And then you saw Bolduc finally get some opportunities when Saad was taken out of the space where he was, taking up space for Bolduc to try to get those opportunities. You saw that team kind of just took off in a direction. You're like, oh, well, they're good too.
Right.
And it does. It comes down to the front office, trusting guys and giving guys opportunities to play. You can be a young team, but if you don't give those players opportunities to fail, the worst thing as an athlete, and Jamie, I know you can attest to this, is every time you mess up, somebody's like, hey, come sit next to me. You're like, well, damn, how am I going to get experience? Like, I got to be able to fast lane up a few times so that I know how not to fast lane this thing up more as we go further. And I think that's part of maturation. Like with Bolduc, you can't get better if you're on the bench or if you're not getting those minutes. You can't
if you're absolutely crap scared to do anything on the ice.
to do anything.
Right.
Like they're like, yeah, you mess up, you're going to be sitting next to me. Oh, well, hell, I'm not going to be the best version of myself. So I think the best thing is to give younger players runway to have that success, to have those failures, and then you get to see the best version of them because now they're no longer worried about if I mess up, I'm going to be taken out, or if I mess up, I'm not going to be able to play in the next game. I'm just going to play my game, and I'm going to be the best player that I can be, and hopefully that translates into having success for myself and the team.
So I looked up this draft. It wasn't Doug Baldwin. Richard Sherman was taken in the 5th round the following year, but this is the draft. Russell Okun and Earl Thomas was their 2 first-round picks. 2 guys that played 131 and 140 games in the NFL. Golden Tate was their second-round pick. He had 44 receptions. I'm sorry, he had 695 receptions, 8,278 yards, and 46 touchdowns over his career. Walter Thurman played a bunch for I think he was like a nickel.
Safety.
Yeah, he was a nickel back. Not the band.
I was going to start singing that.
Cam Chancellor was a 5th-round pick.
The Canadian boys.
That year. The following year, they got Richard Sherman and then Malcolm Smith, who wound up being the Super Bowl MVP.
What year was Russell? Was he...
Russell Wilson was 2012.
That was before them?
Nope, 2012.
So that was 2 years after.
Because he was a rookie when they went to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I believe they won 1 playoff game and lost the following round. Then the next year, they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But
it helps.
It certainly
Get on
does.
your draft
Again,
picks.
if you want a quick retool, make sure you draft well, and you got the young guys simultaneously growing up together, and that's what we're seeing right now with the Cardinals. Speaking of the Cardinals, we get the lineup game next on 101 ESPN. Jamie, I remember seeing you for the first time in a little while, and I'm like, man, what are you doing? What's different? And you said mentality. BT had taken you down to mentality. You did the same thing for me. Guys, if you're struggling at all with energy, lack of motivation, focus, you just know you're not at the top of your game, we got a solution for you. It's mentality. You can start going online if you want to, mentalityhealth.com/radio. But Jamie, once they go down to one of the 2 locations, Chesterfield or South County, they're going to see the difference for themselves. And all of a sudden you jump on that program and it raises your testosterone. You start to feel all the effects immediately.
It really is incredible. It is. To think back at how I just felt off, just not myself. And I'm an energetic person for the most part. And I felt down and almost depressed, and it all changed. Mentality is fantastic. The board-certified physicians, first of all, they're the key to everything because they make you feel comfortable. We talk about all the time you walk in. It feels like you're in a locker room. Bunch of people there hanging out, having a good time. The staff is super friendly.
All there for the same reason.
And they want to make you feel better.
Yeah.
That's right. They ask you all the time. Every time I go in there, how are you feeling? Everything okay? Energy? It's a constant care for what you're going through as we continue to age. So get down to Chesterfield, South County. Please tell them that Jamie and Anthony sent you in. They're going to take amazing care of you. I know for myself, I love my program.
Absolutely, and I do as well. Again, that website, if you want to check them out, mentalityhealth.com/radio. But like Jamie just said, tell them Jamie and Anthony sent you in there. It's Mentality. Tonight it'll be Miles Michaelis versus Cade Povich for the Orioles. 6:35 Baltimore start time, 5:35 local start time for the Cardinals and Orioles. Hopefully you get this game in. They're talking about massive rain in Baltimore. But we got a lineup, so we're going to play the lineup game. Boys, Povich, left-hander.
Oh, boy.
He is an LHP.
Nah, it doesn't change anything at the top.
Nope, go ahead, Carey.
Shall I? Show us Lars Newbar.
International superstar.
Watch out, don't run into any walls or anything.
I believe this is Mason Wynn.
Ah, sure.
Any issues?
No.
Show us Mason Wynn.
Second. Bring me that arm.
Okay, now this one here, Donnie Baseball scratched last minute.
What's wrong with him?
I don't know. Do you think he's back today? I think Donnie Baseball.
Obviously, if he's back right here.
I think he's back. I don't think you keep him down for more than like a game. That's just my thought.
I'm good with that thought. Carey,
I'm fine with it.
let's
Show
do it.
us. Donnie Baseball.
Look at that guy.
Yes.
Vibrant, handsome, hair.
Nice. Wilson here.
Nah, sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Carey.
Show us Wilson Contreras.
You don't know how to play first base. It's not that hard. Tell him, Wash.
It's incredibly hard.
Hey, anything worth doing is.
Go ahead. No, it's your guy. Go ahead. It's your DH.
Show us our DH, Ivan Herrera.
Oh, Yvonne? That's a French-ass name, Yvonne. Yeah, my little croissant, little cheese on my croissant.
All right. Carey, would you like honors on this one?
Sure. Show us Nolan Arenado.
A lot of people think you get in your mid-30s and your career's over, but like I always say, until they stop scouting, I ain't going to stop playing.
Okay. So, catcher, Jordan Walker.
Paez back in. He's been out too long. We need Paez back in.
But it's Jordan Walker first.
Okay, Jordan Walker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
actually like that.
All right. Show us Jordan Walker.
Die for every ball. It's boring otherwise, plus it looks harder. The most important play in right field is what I like to call the janitor throw. Guaranteed out every time. I call it the janitor throw because it cleans up that are trying to take an extra base on you.
Job, Marshy. Proud of you.
Went back to the long cut. All right, Jamie. Now,
I think it's Pedro here.
I do too.
Show us. Petey Pages.
Smithers, throw this at him.
You're out.
Maybe.
And Carey, why don't you go ahead and give us a perfect lineup?
Show us Victor Scott II.
Run as fast as you can.
Nice work, boys.
You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man.
All righty.
Proud of you guys.
Run it.
All right, leading off in left field, Lars Newbar. Batting second, the shortstop, Mason Wynn. Batting third, second baseman, Brendan Donovan. Your cleanup hitter, first baseman, Wilson Contreras. Batting fifth, the DH, Ivan Herrera. Batting sixth, third baseman. Batting seventh in right field is Jordan Walker. Batting eighth and catching, Pedro Paez. And batting ninth in center field, Victor Scott II.
Back. Stay fair. Go fair. I don't believe what I just saw. Home run.
All righty, Marsh. What are the latest standings?
We have updated standings.
Oh, we still didn't update the others.
No, we didn't.
Yeah,
Boy, we suck.
It's Carey's fault.
Oh, okay.
Anthony Stalter picked to hit a home run last night, and he did. Hit a big one. So Anthony has 5 points now, but Carey's still in the lead with 6. Anthony tied with Jamie now with 5 points, and I'm in last with 3.
All right. So I'm going back to our sheet that you sent us yesterday. I'm looking at the sheet that you sent. And Jordan Walker is a three-pointer, if I'm not mistaken. Give me Jordan Walker.
He was anyways, Carey.
I say what?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate
All right, Jamie, you could still go first here.
Okay. Contreras. At some point, he's got to hit one.
You would think. Give me Ivan Herrera.
I already started writing that in.
Yeah. Oh, Ivan.
Croissant.
Marshy.
Give me Pedro Paez.
I knew he was going to do that. I felt it. I felt in my bones.
Yeah.
That he was going to go with Pedro.
Did it feel good?
I feel like when Marsh, when he's falling behind in bet the board or beat the streak, Marsh will typically go outside the box to jumpstart himself. It won't be he won't chip away. He wants to quickly get it back.
Pedro Paz hit a home run the other night.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. A good call on that. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. So, again, we'll keep you updated on whether or not the Cardinals and the Orioles will play. We mentioned this earlier. How about Terry Bradshaw signing off on his Pittsburgh Steelers? When asked whether or not, and this was an interview with 103.7 The Buzz in Arkansas on Tuesday, when asked what his thoughts are on his Steelers pursuing Aaron Rodgers, the Hall of Fame quarterback said, quote, "That's a joke. That to me is just a joke. What are you going to do? Bring him in for 1 year? Are you kidding me? That guy needs to stay in California. Go somewhere and chew on bark. Whisper to the gods out there."
Wow.
He continued, "I liked Kenny Pickett. I liked him at Pitt. I know him. I know what he's like. When they got him to Pittsburgh, they didn't protect him. They didn't get him an offensive line. They wanted to run the football, but they didn't have an offensive line that could protect, and they didn't have weapons. He had no wide receivers to speak of. Then they throw the kid in there for 2 years, and you've got an offense that doesn't fit and doesn't work, and they can't run because their offensive line's not good enough for a run-blocking team. Now, they're saying Kenny Pickett is a failure. He wasn't a failure. The Steelers were a failure."
Oh, wow.
What do you think of
Carey, your thoughts?
Old T. Bradshaw going off?
I mean, that's a legendary Steelers quarterback. Carey.
Well, I hear him saying that Kenny Pickett didn't have weapons. He had George Pickens and Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson was really good at one point.
Yeah, I didn't understand this.
He had Najee Harris in the backfield. The offensive line play probably could have been upgraded and been better, but I don't think Kenny Pickett was good enough. And there were some people that didn't think he should have even been a first-round pick. He was the only one taken that year, if I'm not mistaken, because Malik Willis went later in the third round, and so those were the two. I agree to a degree about Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what the holdup is. I don't know if Aaron is like, I don't want to participate in OTAs or mini camps, and I don't want to be fined for not showing up, so I'll see y'all when training camp starts. If it works, it works. But if it doesn't, you might want to have had, some type of understanding of the offense. I don't know I don't know the backstory. I don't know where we are with Aaron Rodgers. I have no clue. But I do agree with Terry Bradshaw saying that they can't keep going in this direction. Like you've tried this for a few years now. You've gone with Russell Wilson. You tried Justin Fields, who I really think they should have given another look at. And now you're in a position where you're going to go with Aaron Rodgers and maybe Mason Rudolph and potentially Kirk Cousins. Like, I mean, if I got to pick out of those three,
I'd rather go with Bradshaw.
Well, yeah, I mean,
at this point,
if I got to go with one of those three, I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers. But I don't know which Aaron Rodgers. Now, Aaron did perform much better later down the stretch. He got better. The team just wasn't good. Yeah, the team just wasn't good. But he started performing better. He started healing and feeling better. We saw the same thing with Kirk Cousins. He just didn't look right at times. But I have no clue.
Yeah, you can't tell me that this is the game plan to go into the season with Mason Rudolph. There's no way.
Man, they drafted a quarterback. They drafted Will Howard.
Mason Rudolph. I just can't. Old Lanko Harry himself.
Same as Tom Brady.
Right.
He's a national champion.
Who's that?
Oh, Will Howard.
Who?
Same round as Tom Brady.
The reason why there's only one Tom Brady. Name another 6th-round quarterback that has also done very well for himself.
Brock Purdy.
He's
7th round.
7's the number.
7's the number. This can't be the game plan. Mason Rudolph. We're just going to go into the season with Mason Rudolph.
I got a question for Carey. Carey, well, because you played for the Steelers and you had the ultimate success of winning a Super Bowl there, and you know the head coach very well. You know what it is to be a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Mm-hmm.
How the hell are the Steelers in this predicament right now? How did they screw things up so bad that they had 2 quarterbacks last year? They have none now. They're maybe getting Aaron Rodgers, maybe not. Mason Rudolph. Like, how did this happen?
I think they did what a lot of teams do when they have an aging superstar quarterback. The Packers don't care. They're like, the hell with you. Eventually, you're going to be done. I'm going to draft the guy that's going to be after you, your successor. Like, I'm drafting the guy that's coming to be the quarterback.
Your replacement.
Your replacement. They drafted Aaron. Yeah. They drafted.
But then why
Aaron
did Mike
Rodgers,
Tomlin
and then
not
they
do
drafted
this?
Jordan because a lot of franchises are not willing to ruffle the feathers.
But Tomlin seems like he couldn't care at all.
But it's not all on. It's not all on the head coach.
No,
there are a lot of people in there that there's ownership. There's a general manager. Like they
But
all
whose
have
feathers
to be,
were they going to ruffle?
You don't.
No, but whose feathers? Because Big Ben, when he was on his. Okay.
That you asked.
I know, but if I'm in that front office or in that coaching staff, I'm like, we know we've got maybe Big Ben. The year before he played his last year, he was bad.
Yeah, he was coming off of a torn
the wheels
rotator
fell off,
cuff or whatever
the
it was.
side panels fell off, the trunk fell off, everything was falling off. You should have, at that point, drafted a young quarterback.
Yeah, there's one that's playing in Baltimore.
Yeah.
A lot of teams, in fairness, a lot of teams pass on Lamar Jackson, including the Ravens.
They did. They had to come back and get him.
Like, Pittsburgh has been when you talk about like NFL franchises, Pittsburgh's one where people talk so highly about. And here they are in the worst predicament. They don't have a quarterback.
Right.
They got a quarterback coming.
No, they really don't.
They got Aaron Rodgers. He was throwing with DK Metcalf a couple months ago.
A couple months ago, huh?
Yeah, he was out there at UCLA. Got him on film.
All right, so this was a rough segment for our guy CD, but
I'm not mad at Carey.
Oh, I know, but Carey's he is the Steelers. He's the Steelers representative, right? So he's going to basically speak upon on their behalf, right?
I do.
I demand answers from Pittsburgh.
I know you do.
So I needed to get.
We had to go to Carey on that. So again, a little bit of a rough segment for him, but I've got something that's going to cheer him up, and a lot of Cardinals fans. Old school Cardinals fans. No, Jamie, not 80s Cardinals fans.
No.
Man,
Still basis, baby.
Nope.
Yeah. That's all that was.
We'll cheer up CD next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals take on the Orioles looking for another series win as the rubber match is tonight. We have Miles Michaelis on the mound for the Redbirds. First pitch tonight is at 5:35. We will talk with Brad Thompson later today. We'll also talk with Anthony Becht at 4:30, Battlehawks head coach, as the Battlehawks sit atop the UFL standings. We'll get into those interviews later. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page, and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by
Saliga
Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
Brendan Donovan's back in the lineup today for the Cardinals, and Brendan Donovan has had just I don't know if would you describe it as a breakout year, or he already had his breakout year? Is he just merely having his best season now?
Breakout year.
I don't think it's a breakout year. He had a Gold Glove 2 seasons ago.
Offensively,
I'll say his breakout season was the year that, like, his rookie season was kind of his breakout year.
I would agree because I've said this before.
Season.
Nobody really knew who Brendan Donovan was.
No.
It wasn't like he was a highly touted prospect. All of a sudden, he was just on the team, and you're like, who is this guy?
Who is this guy?
And he's playing every single position.
Right.
So, yeah.
I disagree.
I think this is his best season.
No, Carey's got an issue. I want to hear about it.
What's your problem?
Let people talk.
What's your problem, Carey?
I'm looking at the numbers. This is the best if it continues on this path. And maybe we're splitting hairs here, but Brendan Donovan is probably an all-star at this point, correct?
He should be.
He hasn't been an all-star yet.
Right.
So, to me, I know you said Gold Glove, and I understand that's defense. We're talking about offense.
Why do you just play it like that? Defensive Player of the Year doesn't get recognition for you?
No, it's a
in the
Gold
NFL.
Glove.
That guy sucks.
We don't worry
That
about
guy's
defense.
really good.
We don't worry about defense. I told you.
He's the best defensive player.
One sheet is their
Oh,
playbook.
boy, Carey, you just...
It's one sheet garbage.
One sheet.
Yeah, but they do really
Fine
good
ball,
with
get
that
ball.
sheet.
Yeah, they do.
Fine ball, get ball. But no, I think this is he's leading the National League in hits and in doubles. If that continues on that pace, yeah, this is a breakout.
He keeps that
year.
up, he'll be a Dodger soon.
Nah, they
That's
got
what
enough
Chester
guys.
just said, too.
What?
He'll be a Dodger soon.
They got a good second baseman, don't
Chester gets the show.
Chester gets it. He
they? They got a
understands.
good second baseman.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, certainly.
Can do a lot of things. He could be a Cardinal, actually. So he can play
Multiple positions. Yeah.
outfield.
Anyway, Carey, this is why I'm bringing up Donovan.
Do tell.
You love to talk about high contact guys. Your favorite player of all time?
Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn.
Yeah.
High contact guy.
A lot of hits.
Brendan Donovan. You think maybe it's a reminder to the game of baseball that, I don't know, putting the ball in play consistently is a good thing?
Yeah.
As opposed to the 3 true outcomes?
I think so.
That they went so far overboard that guys are just swinging a miss constantly?
I think that's dumb. I always thought it was dumb. I thought that was a dumbass approach and a dumbass idea.
Is that how you'd word it on the document?
Yeah, definitely. I would type it
on
in.
the email?
On the email. This is a dumbass idea. Exclamation point. Send. Like, what idea? Yeah. Home runs or strikeouts? It's a dumbass idea. What about hitting the ball? What about moving the runners over? What about
stealing bases?
Stealing bases, small ball. What about bunting the guy, sacrifice bunt? I just think that's the true form of baseball. And now,
I don't disagree with you.
They don't have a shift on. You can have more success with hitting the ball. So why do you? But I do have a gripe with that. The dumbest thing, the other dumbass idea that I couldn't understand, like you're a professional player, is 15 guys on the right side. Why not hit it to the left side? Why not work on your craft?
I'm sorry, is that a home run?
They hit it where they ain't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So it's hitting a home run, Carey.
You know,
That's basically what you're saying. Only this part, it's a run.
Hit it where they ain't. It's pretty simple.
They ain't in the stands.
They're not. They're not. You're right.
I think the whole 3 true outcome thing is like walking out to your garage and really only having 3 tools at your disposal. I'm good.
You got a hammer, a screwdriver, and a pair of pliers.
Whoa, what are you building?
You can figure it out.
A basement.
You know what? What? You guys say that there's somebody out there listening right now that can do it.
He's my next door neighbor. His neighbor Dave.
Neighbor Dave.
Yeah.
Neighbor Dave was over at my house. My neighbor Dave
Your
2.0.
neighbor. There you go.
Marshy got to meet neighbor Dave 2.0. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
you did. Yeah. Yeah, he's just giving you this. That's correct.
The bald guy that came over with his wife next door.
You got it. Yep.
Yeah, they go, that guy was wondering who that guy was.
He's a nice guy. No, but it is. It's like walking in the garage. I'm going to build a basement. I'm going to build a house, even, to go with that basement.
Yeah.
3 tools in the toolbox.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it's going to take.
Why wouldn't you have, I don't know, to complete your lineup, power guys that get on base consistently, contact guys, speed. Yeah. Different ways to win, maybe. Yeah. Do you think it'll ever be do you think there will ever be a course correction in baseball where we see like, you know what, this isn't the smart idea to go with only power?
Not until a team that plays baseball like the Cardinals right now wins a World Series and has consistent success. So if the Cardinals this year were to get to, I don't know, the playoffs or even further, the pennant championship next year again, and then maybe a World Series appearance, all of a sudden people are going to say, hey, they're like 19th or 20th in the league in home runs for 3 or 4 straight years now, yet they're putting up offensive numbers. How are they doing it? Oh, they're hitting the ball in play, they're stealing bases, doubles, singles.
Son of a bee.
You know how that works.
Great idea.
All of a sudden, somebody else will go, you know what? We've got a lot of the same kind of players. Let's dump some of these swing and miss guys and bring in more guys to make contact. It's not until a team has success playing a certain style that things will change.
And I've said this, sorry, Carey, I've said this for a while when it comes to the Cardinals. Why don't you pivot? Like we see it in other sports. You're like, everybody is doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. Here's an idea. What was once old is new again. We're not going to reinvent the wheel. We're just going to take something from a different generation that worked, make some tweaks to make it current, and roll with it. So, Jamie, to your point, maybe it just takes a team to look at a situation and say, everybody's gone so far with the home run strikeout that we're going to build in a different way.
I don't think it'll ever change, basically because they're not paying $765 million for guys that hit singles and doubles. Mm-hmm. Like it becomes a player thing. It's not so much, we'll just try to get guys that only do this. Like, all those guys want to hit home runs. All those guys want to be the top paid players in the league. Until you pay a guy like Luis Ariz a contract like what Vladimir Guerrero got, you're not going to have guys trying to get on base or hit doubles or hit singles because it doesn't pay that way.
No, you're right. But at least those guys are still available.
They are available.
And if you're not a power guy, you're not a power guy. I mean,
but they all think they are or have thought they are.
They're all
at
drunk.
Some point. They all felt
That's
like
in play.
You get them off the sauce and you start to high contact again.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
All right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. What's trending is next.
topics in the sports world.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending, brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, Jason Stark of The Athletic put together Major League Baseball's all-quarter century team, the very best in baseball since 2000. There are 2 Cardinals on this list. If you want to take a guess at which ones they are, feel free. I think it might take about 0.5 seconds.
From 2000 to 2025?
Yes.
How many Cardinals?
2.
Let's see here.
I think it's
Ryan Ludwig.
No.
I hate that I said that because I really like Luddy. And he was a good Cardinal for a while.
Oh, come on, Anthony, you ruined it.
Sorry.
Yachty
and
Ludwig.
Ludwig. Yachty and Waino. Am I close?
You got one of them right.
Albert and Yachty.
You got it, Anthony.
Albert spent more time away from St. Louis.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah, you stop that now.
You tell you what, you stop it.
Nah. I don't know what you're talking about.
My Albert Pujols wears an Angels hat.
What? No, shame.
Are you serious?
Wow.
Shame. Oh, you
Carey's
are by
Albert
yourself.
wears a Dodgers hat.
Come on. No.
Carey's got a number 55 Pujols jersey in his closet.
You are ridiculous.
He likes to wear it untucked.
Be ashamed of yourself. Be ashamed.
Oh, jeez. All right, let's go through these through these names, through this lineup. First base, Albert Pujols. Second base, Jose Altuve.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Jose Altuve.
I'm sorry, what are the years again?
2025. 25 years, Anthony. That's a quarter century.
Yeah, okay, I get it.
Yeah, just trying to help you, man.
Right. Just asking. Jeez.
I know, and we are answering for you.
Yeah, it's like you can't ask a question anymore, or else you get jumped.
Well, and not just that. Marshy said it 3 times.
Well, I needed to say it 4th.
Apparently, might need one more, Marshy.
All right, so the
I
shortstop.
have smashed my face into a side of a pool.
It's true.
Things happen.
All right, so this is the all-quarter century team from the year 2000 to 2025.
Thank you, Andrew.
Anyways, moving on. The shortstop is number 2, Derek Jeter.
Derek Jeter.
Number 2. That one's pretty obvious. Our next position, third baseman, Adrian Beltre.
That's weird.
Okay.
Is that not weird? Are we not
I don't know
weirded
if
out by
it's
that?
weird. I mean,
Is it not Alex Rodriguez?
Okay, but...
Oh, you can't have that guy in there.
Why not?
If McGuire and Bonds can't be in the Hall of Fame, you can't have A-Rod on.
Slow down.
Well, in left field is Barry Bonds.
Let's get to left field.
I said in the Hall of Fame. I didn't say on this list.
But I think
But I
this
guess I'm-
author is also
Oops.
a non-steroid guy, but he got Barry in.
Yeah,
on this team.
that's.
He admits it, though.
He admit that it was contradictory. He's a hypocrite.
Yeah, he flat out said it.
A-Rod.
He also makes a great point. Like, what other left fielder in that time frame, which is, Marsh?
2000 to 2025.
Thank you, sir.
Bad
What
as
other
us.
lefty? What other left fielder? Outside of Bonds.
Would it have mattered? He's the best damn player in ever.
No, okay, but in comparison to like the third base decision where there's other third basemen outside of A-Rod, that's what I'm saying.
You think that
Like, there is
Adrian
nobody-
Beltre and A-Rod are comparable?
If you want to go down like the steroid pathway,
Steroids aside.
if you want to be a hypocrite
But you put
and
Barry
include
Bonds in left
some
field.
steroid
He's a
players,
hypocrite. He called himself.
yeah, he called them that.
Yeah, well then
but it's
put
also
the damn
easier
best
to
player in there.
But it's also easier to put Bonds in left field, is what I'm saying, compared to
You think A-Rod's the
anybody
best
else.
player?
Better. I think he's better than Adrian Beltre.
I would agree with that.
I would too. But Adrian, let me start
And I
over.
think Adrian Beltre is a really good player.
Barry
He's
Bonds.
a Hall of Famer.
You had no idea this was going to happen, did you?
Oh, I had a feeling.
Barry Bonds, long pause. I'll come back next week, and then I'll say
Anybody.
Ryan Braun.
Okay.
As opposed to Alex Rodriguez, long pause, Adrian Beltre. That's my point.
I don't think it's Alex Rodriguez was a 3-time MVP.
Yeah.
And should be in the Hall of Fame. If you like this thing that we do with the steroid era is a dumbass thing as well.
I feel like you're not giving enough credit to Adrian Beltre.
I'm giving him all the credit that he deserves. But I don't think you're giving nearly enough credit to Alex Rodriguez.
He did win 3 MVPs from 2003 to 2007.
I think. What are we doing? What the hell is that?
Yeah, on Flintstone vitamins.
Those things were good.
He took his multivitamin.
He did take his multivitamin.
In the form of a syringe.
Come on.
Bonds only had the flaxseed.
Yeah. He says prayers, took his vitamins, you know.
That was Hulk Hogan.
Take his vitamins.
He never used steroids.
See what I'm saying?
I gotta get on these vitamins.
What the hell? What vitamins are you taking?
Whole childhood.
He should just made his own vitamin at that point.
Yeah.
Sell the hell out of it.
I think it's weird.
All right. Continue, Marsh.
Okay.
In center field, Mike Trout. Mike Trout.
That guy ever done?
Yeah. Perfect.
Jeez.
Right field, Aaron Judge.
Yep.
So, can I ask a question? Okay, keep going. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
any
Carey,
pushback?
Carey, it's a safe place. Go ahead.
No, I'm looking at the list, and every player I think has an MVP, with the exception of the catcher. He doesn't have an MVP.
Yachty?
He's got a
What's your problem with
million gold
Yachty?
gloves.
No. I'm making my case. Stop it.
You just
I'm
said
making
it,
my
not us.
case for Alex Rodriguez. Every player on the list has an
Back
MVP.
to A-Rod?
Somehow.
You don't have to put Yachty down to elevate A-Rod.
I was making
Wow. You don't have to blow out somebody else's candles to let yours burn brighter.
You guys are terrible.
It's disgusting.
Terrible people.
No Ichiro in right field.
Who's in right field that they have on there?
Aaron Judge.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Ichiro was pretty damn good, though, too.
I'm good with Judge being the right fielder on this team.
But how many years has Judge been this dominant, though?
Oh,
Long time.
a long
how many?
time.
How many?
7 years?
Okay,
8 years?
Ichiro played how long?
Long time.
Judge is on
But Judge's career's not over with.
Yeah,
But
Aaron
it's a
Judge is
25-year. You can't say, like, it's not, like...
2000 to
What if
2025.
he gets hurt and never plays again, Anthony?
Aaron Judge.
Yeah, I'm good with Judge.
Yeah,
I think I don't like you guys disrespecting Ichiro.
All rise.
No.
Yeah.
For Ichiro.
Yep.
What? Very good contact hitter. I'll give him that.
Loved it.
We just talked about contact hitting.
We sure
was
did,
awesome.
Andrew.
But what did we decide?
We didn't decide anything.
It's still about the bombs.
Well, I'll agree with that.
All right. I knew you would.
Catchers
Should I
Yadier
phrase it that
Molina,
way?
which I'm glad he's picked over Buster Posey and Joe Mauer. Glad that Yachty's
Carey
on this
didn't
list.
have him, though.
I didn't disagree with that.
David Ortiz is your DH.
Yeah. I'm okay with that.
I'm good with that as well.
Don't have much of an argument there.
Again, what are we doing?
And here's your starting rotation: Justin Verlander, Clayton Kershaw, Roy Halladay, Max Scherzer, and Randy Johnson.
That's pretty good.
Pretty damn good.
Imagine you have that rotation.
I'll tell you.
And your closer is Mariano Rivera.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
We might not ever lose a game.
With that lineup, Carey, you shouldn't lose it.
No kidding. No kidding.
That's a good lineup. It's a good roster.
Yeah.
It's just missing A-Rod.
It is missing A-Rod, which is that's a terrible decision. Jason, I expect better. Send him an email.
Did you?
I'm
A strongly worded email.
That's a dumbass idea.
Any pushback on Jose Altuve at second base?
I
feel like we glossed
Do we not
over
even
that.
have a second baseman available?
Chase Utley.
So that was in the article. They were comparing Chase Utley's stats to Jose Altuve, and for the most part, Jose Altuve has better stats. Minus home runs, minus WAR, games played, RBI, slug. Everything else favors
and
Jose
MVP.
Altuve.
But the guy cheated.
He's an MVP of the league. Like I don't think I don't know. I think if there's an MVP of the league, I think you should have that spot. Unless your name is Yadier Molina. You deserved it. Everybody else, MVPs.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We do need a new Gauntlet contestant, so if you want to participate in the Gauntlet, boy, we're struggling. We're about to hand out a trophy here today. So if you want to play us in the Gauntlet, again, text in 314-399-9646. That's our Air Comfort Service text line, and you could be chosen to take on one of us next on 101 ESPN. Imagine getting paid for some of your best hunches. Got to check out Underdog. Underdog Fantasy is the spot, the leading place to make your sports selections, and you can play now right here in our state of Missouri. To play, all you have to do, download the app, choose whether or not a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats. You can choose from things like home runs, strikeouts, total bases, and so much more. But once your entry feels good, you can play for as little as $1, and then if you get everything right, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. Here's one of the best things about playing at Underdog. They're not just limited to playing one game. They're not even just limited to playing one sport. If you like one player in tonight's NHL matchup, choose one of those players to go higher or lower on points or assists. You like somebody in the NBA game or don't like somebody in the NBA game, go lower on one of their stats. And then you can maybe throw a Cardinals or an Orioles player in there. That's the best part about playing Underdog Fantasy. How you want to make your selections, that's up to you, but they don't limit you to just one game or just one sport. Heck, they even have UFL games on there as well, so you could partake in our Battlehawks. Download the Underdog app, sign up with the promo code Anthony to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Again, using the promo code Anthony. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Term supply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.nspeedgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
401, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter, and we welcome in Nick. What's up, Nick?
Not a lot. How you guys doing today?
We're doing great, man. Appreciate you listening. Thanks for playing. Would you like to take on Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, or me in the first round of the Gauntlet?
going to take on you.
Whoa! We didn't see that coming.
All right. Well, Nick, good luck to you, man.
You too.
Thank you.
All right, Anthony, get the hell out of here. You enjoy the very quiet silence. Well, Anthony makes his way out of here. Nick, tell our guy Marshy to spin the wheel.
Spin that wheel.
All right, Nick, talk to me. What do you want here?
The wheel knows. So whatever the wheel gives
you're not
me,
gonna mess with it.
I'm ready for.
Well, I hope that you wanted hockey.
All right, I'll take it.
All right, let's party. Well, Marshy gets the launch codes passed out here. Nick, I'm sure you're aware, but I'll just remind everybody. Each question's worth 2 points. It's worth 1 point if you have to use the options and get it correctly. 0 points if you miss it. And as we've seen here recently, if we're tied at the end of the 4 questions, we will go to a tiebreaker and we will get a winner here in the Gauntlet. Nick, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, buddy, here we go. Category again is hockey. Question 1. Which Western Conference team ended the 2024-25 season with the least amount of points in the NHL? This team had 9 fewer points than the next worst team, which finished with 61.
All right. So least points in the Western Conference, probably like Chicago or Nashville. Anaheim was bad, but I thought they had a good streak. San Jose was bad. I am going to go, because it's probably going to be one of those 3. I'm going to go with the Chicago Blackhawks.
Final answer? Okay, thank you.
Question number 2. And this new font is kind of throwing me off.
It's a little bit,
you know, I'm a creature of habit, and when things change,
I feel like the font is a little timid.
Yeah, I get a little creeped out. All right, Nick, here we go. And as of May 22nd, 4 of the top 5 highest point-scoring defensemen in the NHL are playing in the conference finals. Name the only defenseman amongst that group who is not playing in the conference finals.
Oh, man, it almost has to be Cale Makar, right? Highest scoring defenseman, not in the conference finals. Colorado already knocked out. This is for the whole season, right? Regular season?
I believe this is playoffs.
Oh, playoffs.
Yes.
Okay, playoffs. Okay, can you read the question again for me then?
As of May 28th, 4 of the top 5 highest point-scoring defensemen in the NHL playoffs are playing in the conference finals. Name the only defenseman amongst that group who is not playing in the conference finals.
All right, well, if it's playoffs, then it has to be Cam Fowler because he went off against Winnipeg. So I'm going to say Cam Fowler, final answer.
Question number 3. As of May 28th, which goalie has the best save percentage in this year's playoffs? Here's a little note for you. Amongst goalies that have played at least 120 minutes in the playoffs.
All right, so essentially 2 games. Highest save percentage. You know what? Let's see. Give me the options on this one. I feel like there's a couple options here.
Options are Logan Thompson, Frederick Anderson, or Jacob Markstrom.
Man, Markstrom saw a lot of shots against Carolina. I don't remember there being any blowouts in that series. Logan Thompson. Oh, man. And who was the third option again? I'm sorry?
Frederick Anderson.
No, I don't think it's him. I'm going to go with Logan Thompson. Final answer. Although I'm sure it's Jacob Markstrom.
All right, Nick, last question. Which player, despite being eliminated in the first round of the playoffs, leads all rookies with 5 assists in the playoffs?
Oh, rookie eliminated in the first round. Okay, St. Louis. Probably no one there. New Jersey. I can't think of a rookie that did well. Go ahead and give me the options.
No problem. Here they are. Gage Goncalves, Lane Hudson, Jimmy Snuggerud.
Ooh, did Jimmy have... I don't think Jimmy had 5 assists. Lane Hudson. I feel like Montreal didn't score enough in that series to get 5 assists. Who was the third? The other options?
Gage Goncalves.
Gage Goncalves. I mean, I'm playing Stalter, so he's the outlier. So I'll go with him. Final answer.
All right. Thank you. All right, let's get Anthony back in here. How are you feeling, Nick?
You know, I feel pretty good.
All right.
I didn't need the options on two of the four, so hopefully I'm doing well.
All right, buddy. Well, here Anthony's back. He's plugging his ears. Anthony, how are things in there?
Very quiet.
Do you prefer quiet to meditate, or do you like a little action in there?
I prefer
actually
quiet.
mean music.
Yeah. I prefer the quiet.
Really?
Yeah, lock in.
Okay.
Calm.
Are you locked in?
Yes.
All right, we'll pack a lunch.
Okay.
Yeah. Category today is hockey.
I get hockey a lot, I feel.
You do? Here we go, Anthony. He already told you to pack a lunch, so here we go. Question 1. Which Western Conference team ended the 2024-25 season with the least amount of points in the NHL? This team had 9 fewer points than the next worst team, which finished with 61 points.
I'm. You said Western Conference team, right?
Yes.
It's got to be the Sharks. Final answer: Sharks.
Question number 2. As of May 28th, 4 of the top 5 highest point scoring defensemen in the NHL playoffs are playing in the conference finals. Name the only defenseman amongst that group who is not playing in the conference finals.
Defenseman that's not playing in the conference finals that has how many points?
As of May 28th, 4 of the top 5 highest point scoring defensemen in the NHL playoffs are playing in the conference finals. Name the only defenseman amongst that group who is not playing in the conference finals.
It's playoff games.
Well,
it's scoring in the playoffs.
I mean, Cam Fowler was incredible. You also have Cale Makar, but I don't know if Cale Makar did as much damage as Fowler did. And I fear that if I ask for the options, that's who you'll name. Unless I'm forgetting somebody. I'm going to go Cam Fowler. I'm going to take a shot. I'm going to go on Marshy's guy. Final answer.
Question number 3. As of May 28th, which goalie has the best save percentage in this year's playoffs? Here's a note for you. Amongst goalies that have played at least 120 minutes in the playoffs.
Goalies with high save percentages. I'll take the options on this one.
Options are Logan Thompson, Frederick Anderson, or Jacob Markstrom.
Logan Thompson, Frederick Anderson, or who?
Jacob Markstrom.
It can't be Frederick Anderson, right? I'll go Logan Thompson. I feel like he's had a good postseason. Logan Thompson. Final answer.
Final question. Which player, despite being eliminated in the first round of the playoffs, leads all rookies with 5 assists in the playoffs?
Options.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it Gage Goncalves, Lane Hudson, or Jimmy Snuggerud?
Well, I'll go Jimmy Snuggerud. Final answer.
Okay. All right. Let's start. We're going to go reverse. All right, we're going to start at the bottom and work our way up. Right, Carey?
Yep.
It's a good way to do it.
It is.
Which player, despite being eliminated in the first round of the playoffs, leads all rookies with 5 assists in the playoffs? Nick, you took the options. You said Gage Goncalves, because that was the outlier. Who's this guy? He actually said, I'm doing the Anthony Stalter thing.
Oh, nice. Way to go, Nick.
Anthony, you took the options. You said it was good old Snuggie.
Teach me how to Snuggie.
Carey, answer is?
Yeah, Lane Hudson.
Lane Hudson.
Don't teach me how to Snuggie.
Yeah, no Snuggie in there. All right. 0-0.
Did Montreal score 5 goals in that whole series?
Yeah, they had one game where they blew up Washington pretty good, so... Yeah, that's all right, Nick. Anthony got it wrong, too, okay? Nobody's perfect, Nick. Don't put that pressure on yourself. All right, next question. As of May 28th, which goalie has the best save percentage in this year's playoffs? The note, amongst goalies that have played at least 120 minutes in the playoffs. Nick said Logan Thompson. Anthony took the options, said Logan Thompson. Marshy, answer is?
It is Logan Thompson.
But Nick also took the options.
Oh, you sneaky SOB.
1-1. Let's go to question 2. As of May 28th, 4 of the top 5 highest point-scoring defensemen in the NHL are playing in the conference finals. Name the only defenseman amongst that group who is not in the conference finals. Nick, you said Cam Fowler.
Wow.
Anthony, you also said Cam Fowler. Carey, answer is?
It is Cam Fowler.
But neither of you needed the options.
Oh, man.
Score check.
3-3. Final question. Which Western Conference team ended the 2024-25 season with the least amount of points in the NHL? This team had 9 fewer points than the next worst team, which finished with 61 points. Anthony, without the options, you said San Jose Sharks. Nick, without the options, said Chicago Blackhawks. The other team that wasn't, the Blackhawks and the Sharks were options. The other team was the Nashville Predators. So we're sitting at 3-3 here right now. If it's Nashville, we have a walk-off. Chicago, Nick wins. San Jose, Anthony wins. Nick.
You have chosen poorly.
Anthony got you with his San Jose Sharks at the end there, Nick. Sorry, man.
His San Jose Sharks strike me again.
You know what? I'll just embrace it now. Go Sharks!
There you go, buddy.
You sack of
There's
losers.
no competition for the Blues right now. You're fine.
Nick, thanks for playing, pal.
Thanks, guys. Glad I could be your slump buster.
Good job, Nick.
Like your
Good job,
attitude.
Nick. Yeah, definitely. You
Thanks,
fared
guys.
well. See you, buddy.
See you, Nick.
Thank you. All right.
Thanks.
So Marsh often panics in these situations, so I'm just going to be quick here. BT next on 101 ESPN.
You're hanging with Brad Thompson on 101 ESPN.
Hanging breaking ball from Brad Thompson. And boy, does he get a swing on it. Lift and separate and see you later.
Hanging with BT is sponsored by St. Luke's, ranked top 2% in the nation for cardiac surgery by Health Grades. Visit stlukes-stl.com.
All right, let's head right to our Calgary and Thompson phone line, chatting with the one and only Brad Thompson, 2006 World Series champion. And of course, you see him most games on FanDuel Sports Network. BT, I have to imagine following another Cardinals victory last night, things are pretty good.
Yeah, things are great, right? They were able to right the ship after night one. Man, night one was a bit of an outlier. Didn't get a hit with runners in scoring position, made a couple of defensive mistakes which this club just doesn't do, and kind of righted that in the ball game yesterday. So life is good. It's also very wet here in Baltimore. It's been raining all day long. It's kind of misting right now, so it's going to be a sloppy track this evening.
BT, Matthew Liberatore, we've talked about it already, but he just continues to impress. Like, I guess I'm a little concerned still. I'll be that guy. I'll be honest. You and me are boys. I'm still a little concerned that, like, at some point it's going to fall off the rails, yet he's doing nothing but showing me that it's not going to fall off the rails. When you're watching as a former pitcher, like, what are some of the things that you see that lead you to believe, like, this is sustainable and this is who he is now?
Yeah, it definitely looks real to me, and I understand that thought just because, right now, the numbers are obscene. He's throwing the ball so well. The confidence is a big-time difference maker when it comes to Matthew Liberatore. You can just tell by the way he carries himself out there. He believes in every single pitch. The conviction is there. But the way that he's utilizing his stuff, Jamie, that's what gives me the belief that it is real what we're seeing. He buries his slider to both lefties and righties. It's got different break than it did a year ago. The fastball's got different ride on it. It really has that perceived rise at the top of the zone. It plays well effectively to both lefties and righties. That was a pitch that got hammered a year ago, actually the last couple of years, and he's utilizing it well. And he is just able to throw any of his pitches in any counts. He's finally figured out his mechanics. We've seen that over the last couple of years with him where he'd have an outing and you could just tell his arm slot was off, his timing was off, and he wouldn't be able to make those adjustments inning to inning, let alone pitch to pitch. Now you see one that goes awry, he makes that adjustment quickly. Like, this happens all the time in baseball, especially when you have another guy that goes in part of that trade and just goes and sets the world on fire. And we get impatient. He's only 25 years old. Like, he just turned 25. So he has got so much learning still to do. But the stuff is there, the work ethic is there, and I really do believe that what we're seeing right now out of Matthew Liberatore, Jamie, is the real deal.
BT, talk to me about Steven Matz. He has a 1.91 ERA. He has been fantastic. He's not allowing hits. He's kind of the guy that can do any and everything. He can be a starter. He can be a bullpen guy. What have you seen from him that has allowed him to have the success he's had this year?
Man, and I'm so happy for him, Carey, because over the last few years, he's almost been the punchline. It's like, oh, Steven Matz, like it's not his fault he couldn't stay
on this
healthy. No, not with you guys. I mean, you guys are fair and balanced. You're basically Fox News. But everybody else, and I'm so happy for him. And I'm sure that the role that he is in, that's not the one he envisioned to be in, of being that swing man, spot starter, but a bridge guy. He's been so important. It was actually one of the first questions I asked Ollie today. Is like, man, where would this bullpen be without Steven Matz? And he's like, we would look a heck of a lot different. So his ability to be able to give you multiple innings in the middle of a game, he's also not splitty, right? He's able to get righties and lefties out effectively. He's on the ground when he needs to. He can get outs quickly, but he can also strike you out. He has just been so helpful, and I'd have to imagine that there are going to be plenty of phone calls for Steven Matz that probably already have been from other clubs that would like to acquire, whether it's a starter, a swing guy, or just a veteran to have out there. But he's been a calming presence in that bullpen, and he's allowed the back end of the bullpen, and as has Leahy, being able to give you multiple innings. But he's allowed that back end of the bullpen to get some rest and just be able to be set up. So I think the biggest key, like the reason he's having this success, he's healthy. Like he is healthy. He's just going out there and pounding the zone. I love it.
BT, you've worked with these two gentlemen to my left, and they give me trouble often because I like guys that hit the ball. I mean, they think it's a dumb idea. They think you should hit home runs and strike out. But these two,
we never said that.
These two think it's a dumbass idea. So can you let them know why Brendan Donovan is so important to this Cardinals roster?
Oh, those two dumbasses. It happens all the time. It's unbelievable. No, look, we all love, and I say that with love. You guys know that. It's a term of endearment, always has been on the fast lane. You know that. Yeah. And I would say, as a whole, you guys are really good.
Jamie.
Really good. Yeah, Jamie. But he's my favorite player to watch. He is. Brendan Donovan, everything that he does, the way that he goes about it, is he is just so dialed in. And while it's not always the power with him, only 3 home runs. He leads the league in doubles with 18 of them. He goes the other way. He was talking the other day about just being intentional with his bat path, right? If the pitch is away, he's going to hit it the other way. If you get it in, he's going to try to catch it in front of the plate. Like, he is just able to slow the game down right now at a level that not too many guys can. He's hitting .328. That's 7th best in Major League Baseball. So the 3 home runs, maybe not your prototypical 3-hole hitter, but gosh, he's getting the job done really well. Defensively, incredibly sound. He made his first error the other night in Game 1 of this series, and I think it was 55 games, something like that. He's just been such a consistent piece, and he'll set the table. He can clear it when guys are out there. He's driven in 22. But the fact that he gets on at the clip that he does, and then he's got Contreras, Herrera, Arenado behind him, the dude's always going to be in motion.
Brad Thompson joining us right now on the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. BT, last thing from us here. When you think about Brendan Donovan, high contact hitter, we know about the 3 true outcomes. Do you feel as though that there will be a course correction at some point, and at least one MLB team, if we haven't seen it already, we'll kind of figure out you know what, the 3 true outcome thing, fine for a little bit, but it's not a way to win, and we will see kind of a course correction with more high contact hitters again?
Well, baseball is cyclical, Anthony. I think it's a great question, and I just think optically it's a way better brand of baseball to watch. Get a guy on, get him over, get him in, actually playing the game of baseball. But I don't know if we're ever going to see the economics of the game change. Guys get paid for home runs, get paid for doubles, get paid for slugging, get paid for ISO, using the nerd voice, get paid for all of these different things. So I don't know. I don't see that drastically changing on its head. But if I'm building a ball club, I can't build a team that is surrounded by 3 true outcomes. I need to have a complete team. I think you can have a guy or two in your lineup that is like that. He's boom or bust. But having a balanced ball club and a balanced lineup, which I really do think the Cardinals have, even with some question marks, you're still trying to figure out what Walker is. When Gorman gets an opportunity, I've been happy for him the last couple of days, but you're still trying to figure out what he is. I think balance is always going to play in the game of baseball. Speed will always play. Great defense will always play, and the Cardinals are one of the best defensive clubs. So I hope that there's a course correction just for visually watching the game of baseball, but I just don't see the economics of the game changing where teams will stop paying for the power and paying for more of the contact.
That makes sense. Carey certainly brought that point up as well. BT, love having you on the show, man, as always, and we'll check back with you again next Wednesday. Keep up the great work on FanDuel.
You guys keep up the great work on the show. Have a great rest of the week. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you next week.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, BT. We'll see you.
Hey,
That's our guy, Brad Thompson, here in the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. We have Anthony Becht, head coach of the St. Louis Battlehawks, following another win. Up next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Anthony Becht, head coach of the Battlehawks, will join us next. So stay tuned for that as the Battlehawks lead the UFL in the standings 7-2 on the year. That's coming your way next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Battlehawks with the head coach. It's time for Anthony Becht's Call-In.
Presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, home of the Battlehawks box.
Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Super Bowl champion Carey Davis, longtime NHL veteran Jamie Rivers, and me, Anthony Stalter. Let's head to the Callier and Thompson phone line. Chat with our guy, Anthony Becht, of the Battlehawks, head coach of the Battlehawks, who are rolling right now. Coach, congrats on another victory. How you doing today?
Fantastic. Thank you. I appreciate that. Really proud of the team. It's really hard to win 5 straight games, and just guys taking a lot of pride in what they're doing, and real easy to kind of sit back and not come out and play hard when you clinch and people are patting you on the back last week, and just really proud of the performance of everybody.
You all played a great game. Abraham had the scoop and score, and there was a man on the sideline had a quick 10-yard sprint when Abraham picked that ball. About how your hamstrings doing today? Yeah. How the hammies doing today? You okay? Did you have to ice them down after the game?
Actually good. I'd be honest with you guys. I've lost about 35, 40 pounds.
Good for you.
Training camp. So I've been feeling a lot better, but I don't want to push it. I don't want to get overconfident in what I'm doing. So 10 yards was good enough, and then I kind of pulled back.
Very nice.
Hey, Coach, nice offensive output, 39 points up on the board. What did you see from your offense that you liked and you think will carry over moving forward?
Yeah, well, I was really impressed by Max. We really wanted to throw the ball a little bit to start the football game. I thought, he came out with great timing, great accuracy, and, really took great strides, and I think he's really primed and ready to go to help us make this push. I thought the offensive line, honestly, like with the multiple backs that played and some of our players like Kevon Latulis, coming into the game, that they were, still out there grinding for him and protecting our passers when Brandon came in. And, it's just great to see, man, seeing guys kind of get their opportunities and shine. But, look, I mean, we don't have a lot of players. We can't just sub out and, sit guys and do different things like that. So, it was good to see those guys just perform at a high level across the board on all 3 phases.
Coach, is that, I realize if you have injuries piling up, especially at certain positions like that, that's not good. But in some ways, is a smaller roster beneficial? Are you seeing more improvements quicker because you have a smaller roster? Guys know they're going to play and they know what their roles are?
Yeah, I mean, obviously reps are key, right? I think it just, obviously throughout the week, it's hard to practice at a tempo that is efficient enough to really, do a lot, right? So I have to be very cognizant of, body and health and recovery. And these are things that I've found a nice formula for, knock on wood, just to have these guys fresh and going. And I think, saving their legs is vital, but, no shoulder pads and no contact. Those things, seem to trickle down, or you start playing higher because you're not engaging in contact during the week. So I give them a lot of credit for being professionals and practicing and listening on how to do it properly. And I just think, there's a lot of mental aspect that goes into it. And some guys, you struggle in those areas, and we've been able to, really separate ourselves and still practice efficiently and get a lot out of it. And these guys retain, play hard, play violent, and play fast.
Coach, you guys got a little bit of an interesting situation here to end the season. Last game of the season is going to be against the DC Defenders, and then you're going to get them again right after that in the conference finals. Now, what goes into the strategy for this now? Because obviously it's a game that you want your team to win, but are you trying not to give up certain things that you might use in the conference championship game? Are you playing all your big guys? I know you just talked about, you don't have the option of having a really deep bench. So I'm just fascinated with how you're going to approach this.
Yeah, well, listen, we're playing to win, number one. Whoever's out there, if they're dressed, be ready because, there's three things we're really excited about. Number one, winning 8 games for the first time in the organization is huge. Taking that step and really, winning 6 straight games. We've never done that as an organization as well. And we won home field advantage earned. I think a lot of people have put this out there that, we were handed something because it's a great place to play in the fan base. Well, we want to earn home field, and that's big and big on our minds as a team and a staff. Look, we don't play 20 games, guys. We don't have 3 preseason, 3 17 regular season games. Every game of these 10 games is critical. Both teams have put enough on film that I think everybody knows exactly who they are and what they're trying to be and what their identity is. Of course, there's going to be things that we're going to run. We run the same play for a lot of things each and every week. And, again, you got to line up and stop it. So we're coming out just like we did last week, guys. We're looking to score. We're looking to not have them score. And we want to come out with a road win. It's very critical and important for us. And we want to finish the season strong, and that's what we're going to try to do.
AB, when I watch football, I tell the guys all the time, you can watch a running game, and you can tell when a defense is breaking or they're about to break. I thought the run by Latulis was that breaking point. Do you all have that emphasis? Is that the mindset? Because you all had a 3-headed monster running the ball this past week. What is your philosophy in terms of how you attack teams in the run game?
Break their will, man. You're right. I mean, there's nothing more devastating.
Beautiful thing.
You know it when they know you're running and you're running and you break their back. Like Birmingham game, they knew we were running the football, right. and you just keep clubbing them and clubbing them and clubbing them, man. And whether you say it's given up or they're just tired of it, and they get out of position. They don't do the right things. They try to avoid. And we do have good backs that attack, but a lot of credit to our offensive line, man. And I'll tell you, I love the guys that came in the second half. Cole Spencer played phenomenal. Bradley Ashmore's played phenomenal. Like, we got dudes, like I told you, we are very deep, and, we didn't miss a beat in the second half of that football game. And credit goes, obviously, to finding really good players. I kind of mess with the players this week, and I always would say, hey, if you haven't played a lot or you're getting an opportunity, prove it to me that we made the mistake of not playing them. But I also added the fact that, hey, listen, we believe in what you can do. We know you're a good player. Be mad at the other teams for not selecting you and drafting you and signing you and not doing their homework and trying to find good players. We can't help. We found a lot of good ones, and we can't play everybody. So take it out on the other teams. And that's been kind of the message a little bit this week when guys get their chance.
That's a great statement to give to those guys. Anthony Becht, head coach of the Battlehawks, joining us right now on the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. Coach, your defense has really been outstanding since week 1. What's the secret sauce?
Well, I have a great staff, number one, right? Like, Donnie Abraham is, the most least spoken person probably in the entire league, but deserves a lot more credit in our league for what he's done. Chris Claiborne, our linebacker coach, Leroy Glover, and Martin Bayless, what these guys do and help give a plan to these players. But ultimately, players make plays, right? At the end of the day, once you get on the field, it's up to the players to go out and execute, and they've done that. Your 2 top corners are on IR. They're gone. Isaiah Mack, who was coming on as a really good defensive tackle, he's on IR. And you don't miss a beat. Guys step in. They rotate a lot of players. No one just is the straight-up starter every snap. And that's just a tribute to our depth and also the fact that, guys come in and, unfortunately they may not get all the awards and the most tackles in the league, but if they played every game and every snap like a lot of other teams do their guys, they would be right up there as some of the best in the league. So, just a lot of credit, man, just top to bottom. They work hard at it, and we need to lean on them. We needed to lean on them, especially early in the season as we grew as an offense. And right now it's kind of meshing together. But, just having guys step in and fill those big voids. We tried to be not relying on one given player at any position on our team this year when we put this team together. That's why, I've been preaching this has been our best team that we put together. And so far, so good. So I just want these guys to continue to push forward. We have 3 game opportunities, 3 possibilities left for us. It's a lot easier to look at 3 versus trying to, how's 10 going to work out for you in the beginning of the season. So finish the journey, man. That's what this thing's all about. It's been fun to watch, and I just, I want these players to go out there and be successful and perform well.
Coach, you talked about players. Not everybody gets an opportunity to play. Brandon Silver's got an opportunity as a backup quarterback. How important is that to get him some reps when you don't normally have an opportunity to get those guys reps in games? It's normally in practice if you can.
Oh, phenomenal. I mean, he's got great touch. He's got, he's a pure passer, pocket guy, right? Guys get excited playing with him. I mean, he brings a certain skill set that we've had in the past. And, it is critical. A quarterback, I think every team in this league, the 3 years I've been a part of it, have played at least 2 and most 3 over a season because of injuries or just not performing well. We've been able to stand behind our guy, be able to win in other areas and help grow that position. And even more this year, it's been so critical. But to get him reps has been great. And, we got 3 good ones now. Chevin Cordero, guys, is a star in the making. At some point, he'll get his opportunity and he'll get to compete. But, man, nobody finished stronger than him in training camp. Made the most mistakes early, but, man, really came out looking really good at the end of training camp. So, it's been fun, and they're exciting players.
Coach, we appreciate your time as always. We'll check back with you again next week, and we're drawing closer and closer to the playoffs, and we're getting excited.
Yeah, critical. The fan base really decides to come out in the masses in a week and a half because, we can't do it without them, and we're looking forward to it. So that XFL Conference Championship game in St. Louis has to be awesome on June 8th, and I'm looking forward to walking out of that tunnel and seeing what it looks like.
It'll be packed, that's for sure.
Baby.
Yeah, people are going to be insane. Excellent. All right, Coach.
Guys, appreciate you.
Thank you. We'll see you. That's coaching. Thanks, Coach. That's Coach Anthony Becht here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Great stuff. I love the fact that he has been steadfast. Like, you could tell from the start of the season that he's been like, we're going for a championship this year.
Yeah.
We're going for a title. He hasn't been shy about that. Mm-hmm. He knew what team he had, lost his starting quarterback, but really had a quarterback depth room, a quarterback room where each guy was similar.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted more mobility. Not stylistically, not everybody's the same, but that was the one common trait.
Mm-hmm.
Lo and behold, Manny Wilkins goes down, Max Duggan steps in, and it's taken a little while, and I do think at some point you need to develop that vertical passing game, but at least that's the one consistency. It's not like going from somebody who's mobile to a complete statue, and the offense has to change when you don't have the reps.
No, it's nice to keep the same playbook.
Definitely. And the same idea, philosophy, all that. So, Coach Anthony Becht has done a hell of a job. Beat the Streak and Bet the Board are next. Our guy Ben is still alive. He's got, up to 6 now, I think, is the streak?
6, the longest for a listener so far. So he holds the record.
Good for Ben, who will pick first next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Anthony, it can be super stressful purchasing a new home, or not even that. Not even purchasing, getting ready to purchase a new home, because we know you got to get the pre-approval. You got to jump through hoops. You got all this information. It can be stressful. Not with our guy Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. It's the easiest process I've gone through ever while purchasing a home. The pre-approval letter was there. He actually sent a copy to me so that whatever number I needed up to the amount that I was able to borrow from Stewie, I was able to put it in there to make sure that I was able to provide the best bid available to actually get the home. And then after that, it was super, super easy. Held my hand the entire way, literally at times held my hand the entire way till we got to the closing table. And now I'm in the home of my dreams.
He's a magician, man. He's unbelievable, Stewie. Here's the thing, too. He hands out his personal cell phone number, same number, and we'll give it to you in a second, that Jamie and I used. Yep. Jamie for his dream home. Yes. And for me, asking him about, certain refis, and even talked to him at one point about, pre-approval letters and how that works. Stewie's amazing. He can help you with anything like that. If you're sitting also on a pile of debt and you have sleepless nights, that sucks. Call him, see what he can do for you. He may say, he can't help me. you're going to be surprised because we've seen Stewie handle challenges like that. He is the best. So here's that phone number, 314-324-4440.
Again, that's 314-324-4440.
Call him, text him, day, night, doesn't matter. If you miss that phone number, Jamie, you can always
Google the Bigelow.
NMLS number 226715.
I want to hit baseballs.
All of my successes depend on me.
You're ready to hit.
The hits just keep on coming.
And his first big league hit is a bullet up the middle.
Our guy Ben is back on the line for Beat the Streak. He's killing it right now. It's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. Ben, congrats. You are now the new leader among listeners with your 6 straight hits. Nice job, Ben.
I got a few tacking on, though.
I like man, that's
Mindset.
steely determination. I like it. All right, Ben, you can lead us off in a second. Marsh, how'd everybody else do?
Everybody but me got a hit last night. Gunnar Henderson did not get a hit, but Mason Wynn did. Jackson Holiday got a hit. Jordan Walker, tacked one on, and of course, Alec Burleson got a hit for Ben.
All right, so Ben's going to lead us off, then Carey, then Jamie, then me, and then Marsh. So Ben, go for it.
All right, Ramon Urias.
Okay.
Ramon.
Urias. Give me. Hey, there go Mason Wynn. Running back.
Jamie?
It's me? Okay. I will go. I'm going to double down. Wilson Contreras, please.
Okay. I'm going to go with the guy I went with last night. Give me Jordan Walker. Old J-Walk.
And I'm going to go with a Cardinal again because clearly picking the other team does not work for me. Give me Lars Nootbaar.
Newt. All right, so tonight, Ben took Ramon Urias. Carey Davis took Mason Wynn. Jamie selected Wilson Contreras. I took Jordan Walker. And Marsh just took Lars Taylor Tatsui Nootbaar. Ben, good luck to you, man.
You too, guys.
Thank you.
Easy.
See you, brother.
From Beat the Streak to Bet the Board. All right, Marsh, what are the latest standings for Bet the Board? Things have changed, Mox.
Yes, they have. Jamie still in the lead, though. 11 points, thanks to the power play point that Connor McDavid got last night.
Yep.
Jamie reminded us last night that he got that power play point.
Yeah, I wanted to really let you guys know.
But even if you forgot, I'd tell him today because I'm a good teammate.
You are.
Anthony, you have 10 points.
Thank you.
Carey, Duran, a.k.a. Jaron Duran.
Man, he went 2 for 3 today.
No, that was last night. He went 0
Yeah,
for
run.
He went 0 for gopher. You're at 9 points.
Something about today's game.
You guys mistook me.
Understood.
My parlay.
Oh,
how'd you do?
Nah, I wasn't even close.
Not
How many
great.
legs did you hit?
Didn't even look.
You lost the first one. That was it.
Well, I looked at the final score.
They lost.
And
they were under.
Yeah,
it was under.
And a lot of overs on that part.
Had a lot of overs because I like watching exciting things. That was exciting, just not the exciting, game that I needed.
Sure.
And I lost, so that's okay. So I'm going to go with something crazy tonight because it doesn't matter.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
out of it.
Carey Davis picked the Rockies.
Yeah. And that was amazing.
All right, I'm up.
What's going on here?
You know you're up.
All right. I just want to make sure, Anthony, he's got a Krabby Patty over there.
Oh, I don't like that you're winning.
Florida, Carolina tonight. The Hurricanes, big win last game against the Panthers in Florida, for that matter. Hurricanes at 105 tonight on the money line. But I'm going to take the Florida Panthers at minus 115 on the money line. They're going to end that tonight.
Go Hurricanes.
Hey, watch yourself.
What happened?
Oh, man.
Sorry.
It's not very nice.
I'm going to take the Panthers to go over 2.5 goals tonight at minus 138. Panthers over 2.5.
That's
minus 138.
That's minus 130.
Yes,
what?
sir.
You got to look it up.
I got it
Refresh.
right. I got it right here.
Refresh.
There we go. Refresh.
Make sure he's on par. Make sure he's doing it right.
I'm trying to find it. He's doing the quick. He's doing the switch around.
Is he moving fast?
Yeah, he is.
He doesn't want you to see it.
Yeah, see that? Minus 158. No.
Is that what it was?
No, he's not.
Jamie can't see.
You go with the Panthers team total?
Team total over 2.5. Please and thank you. Minus 138.
I'm going to go. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Give me Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Oh, boy.
Over 45.5.
What?
Points, rebounds, and assists.
Doesn't even points.
Hell no.
That's a lot of points. You can have that.
Yeah. Points, rebounds, and assists.
That makes sense.
Well, guys, I'm officially out of it for this month. I'm sorry, Ed, a.k.a. Bacon Wrapped Wiener.
Man, that's right.
I'm going to predict tonight's game, the final score.
Oh.
At plus 1,700, give me Florida Panthers with a 5-2 victory.
Wow. Nice. Marshall, what do you have?
How many points do I have? I have 6.
Oh, okay. Well, how many days we got left?
3.
3.
Well,
He's
3
today
at the
and 2
board.
next 2 days.
Oh, we count today.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. He's already been eliminated. So Friday.
I'm just making sure because he's made this mistake before.
Trust me. I will not make it again.
He thought the month was over.
Marsh, we got 3 more days.
And I'm pretty sure I did an outlandish pick that day.
You did. You hit it. You had like a home run call.
It was a Nick Castellanos home run or something. I don't know. 5-2 victory tonight for the Florida Panthers.
I'll take it.
And if I hit it, I win.
Jamie. There you go.
The month. Right?
No, but you'll gain all of our respect.
That's good. I guess I didn't have it before then.
That's worth something, you know? Will this year's trade deadline be any different than years prior for the Cardinals? Marsh, I feel like you and I are on the same wavelength on this one. We'll explain next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey Davis for Genesis of St. Charles. If you haven't done so, you need to visit Missouri's first and only standalone Genesis dealership. Stop in today for exclusive in-store offers. They have a large selection of new Genesis models in stock and ready for you to take home today. Some of the best cars you can see, some of the best cars you can drive, those cars, some of the models actually have massaging seats. Get you a massage as you travel down to the ballpark to watch the game and then come back out to St. Charles. You can experience the luxury service at their brand new facility located at 5601 Veterans Memorial Parkway in St. Peters, right off of Mid Rivers Mall Drive and 70. Let Genesis of St. Charles introduce you to the sweet life of benefits designed to exceed your expectations. If you don't see the model or the color you want, they can find it for you and help you build your dream Genesis. Genesis owners get a complimentary scheduled maintenance for 3 years or 36,000 miles, whichever comes first. 24/7 luxury roadside assistance for 5 years. Whether you need a tire change, transportation to the nearest Genesis retailer, gas, or more, they got you covered. Visit them today at the location, or you can go online at genesisofstcharles.com. That's genesisofstcharles.com. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter.
Ken Rosenthal recently appeared on the Foul Territory podcast to discuss how the Cardinals could approach the trade deadline. Of course, that's going to be a huge topic of conversation with the Cardinals surprising basically everybody, including themselves, I'm sure. So here's Ken Rosenthal, how they could attack the trade deadline.
I expect that if they're in contention, this being Mozeliak's last year, as you mentioned, that they will buy. Now, are they going to expend assets to make a big run, go all in, so to speak? No, I can't see them doing that. I would expect that they make relatively minor moves. If you remember a few years back when they acquired John Lester, that was Lane Thomas for John Lester. Now, Lane Thomas became a good player, but at the time, it was not a monster move. It was just a move that would upgrade them a little bit. I expect that that is what they would do. That is the approach that they would take. If they fall out of it, or if they are simply in a spot where they don't see their playoff odds as being very good, and like you said, the win projections are not where you would want them to be, yes, I could see them selling, but I really don't see that happening with them. To me, they're going to be buyers, but limited buyers, not giving up anything that's going to cost them too deeply for the future.
So, Marsh, I don't want to steal your thunder on this one. In the pre-show meeting we had, you raised a pretty good question about all this.
Yeah, I feel like we've been having these conversations. Well, what are they going to do? Like, maybe they'll buy like a little bit, or what is this team going to do? This is what they've been doing. They're not going to go out and get anybody huge. Even if they do buy, like this is not earth-shattering because they've been doing this for years.
Right.
What is going to change?
That's correct. Yeah, I completely agree with you, Marsh. The fact that Ken Rosenthal is saying, yeah, you know what, they might dip their toes into the trade market, be a buyer, but a small buyer. That's John Mozeliak's MO. No pun intended. That's been what he's been. Outside of the Matt Holliday deal, and what?
Mark DeRosa?
And I would okay. But outside of the Holliday deal, and I would say the Lackey trade, has there been a significant in-season? I'm not talking about Ozuna. I'm not talking about Arenado. I'm not talking about Goldschmidt. I'm talking in-season. When has he made a bold move in season? I'll hang up and listen.
Bold move or big name?
Big name. There you go. All right. Carey, you had your hand up. Thank you, Marshy.
I have a question. Why would the Cardinals not? I get it, right? You're you want to win the championship. Two-part question.
Why do you say it like that?
Yeah, what?
No, I got two-part question. Is this roster good enough to win a championship?
No, it'll never be.
Okay.
Coming up next.
What? So,
as long as Major League Baseball continues to allow the Dodgers and the Phillies and the Mets to do what they're doing, mostly the Dodgers, you're never going to have a roster that's going to. I'm dead serious.
No. Could they be the Diamondbacks of this year?
Yeah.
What Diamondbacks were a couple of years ago?
That's not very nice.
The Arizona Diamondbacks. They play
not the fast lane version of Diamondbacks.
Okay. The reason I asked, because we had BT on earlier, and he talked about Steven Matz might be getting some phone calls. I'm assuming come trade deadline, because he's an unrestricted free agent. Ryan Helsley is an unrestricted free agent. Phil Maton is an unrestricted free agent. And so is Eric Fetty. Are you going to sign any of those guys back for 2026?
Probably not.
With that being said, should you keep them on your roster come trade deadline? If people are looking at Steven Matz like, whoo, he's playing his ass off. Ryan Helsley, whoo, that's a really good pitcher. Could need a closer. Phil Maton, you know what I need? A setup guy. Do you keep those guys on the roster knowing that this team, the way that it's constructed, as great as this season has been, and it has been phenomenal to this point, knowing that they will not, more than likely, will not be here next year?
Yeah.
Do you keep them on the roster? Because that means you are buyers at the deadline and you're searching for other pieces. Or are you sellers at the deadline? What makes more sense?
I'm going to ask a question that none of us can answer. What is the return?
Does it matter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
let's say they're in first place.
You'll let those guys. But my first question to you was, the roster that they have now, can they win a championship?
Right.
Why does it have to be a championship, though? Like, we talked all season long on how important it was for the Blues to make the playoffs for that experience.
But we're talking about unrestricted free agents.
That you're not going to get anything for. We're going to get a bunch of guys that we've never heard of, and they'll probably never be on the team.
Okay, that's why I asked.
Helsley's the only one
Unless Helsley is dealt.
He's the only thing that's getting anything worthwhile.
We just heard BT say Steven Matz probably made himself some money. So
here's how I would define because I think it's a great question. I think it's going to be the question as we approach the deadline. If the Cardinals are in first place, so they have caught the Cubs, they're currently 3 games back of the Cubs as we sit today. If they catch the Cubs, they're in first place at the deadline. My return on any of those guys is low A guys, double A prospects, something like that. The value of making the playoffs is more than the double A, single A, prospects that could take a while. It's more valuable for me to hang on to those guys and make the playoffs than it is to restock the lower level of the organization.
If it's triple A swing and miss guy with high upside,
if we're
because
talking
you packaged
about
2 of these guys and got 1 guy in return that looks like he's a potential starter.
If a team gets so desperate, they flip me for Ryan Helsley.
You?
A top prospect.
I thought you meant you.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't know.
I'm stepping into the...
Maybe a depth player.
Oh, it's all fantasy at this point, okay?
I do enjoy fantasy.
Yeah.
Hear you.
What?
Anthony's
you
different
know what you said.
Well, the Cardinals got a second baseman in 2006 in Ronnie Belliard, and they won the World Series. Made a great play, and I believe it was Game 1 of the 2006 World Series.
And what was he at one point?
Shortstop.
You say it.
Shortstop?
Yep.
He played a crucial role in that team, Anthony.
He did.
He was a big part of it. You're right. Anthony doesn't see it the same way, though.
If the prospect pool is higher for some of these guys, conversation changes, because now it's about setting up your immediate future. That's the way I look at it.
Let me ask you guys a different question on whether or not the Cardinals are going to do this or that, the other deadline. What do you think Cardinals baseball fans want in reality?
Playoffs.
I think they do.
Bobbleheads.
But Marshy, why? Why?
Carey went to the game.
We're having a serious conversation. And this
I don't know how to
ass
take
hat
that.
has to come in with a bobblehead.
Because he beat me to it.
You guys are... I almost swore. I almost said the real word.
Gary went to the game the other day with his son. He had a great time.
I know, he got 2 bobbleheads.
Yeah, 2 of them.
Mason win bobbleheads. Yeah.
Right.
Continue, Jamie.
Sorry, Jamie.
Sorry.
Let's say they don't want bobbleheads, okay?
Yeah.
What do you think Cardinals baseball fans want?
Wins. Dubs.
Okay, but...
Championships.
Carey, you and the 6
I'm asking. I don't know.
Can we alter a little bit?
Let me finish the damn question.
You asked us
You
a
asked the question. We didn't think it was rhetorical.
Hypothetical?
No, stop it.
Rhetorical.
Do you think the fans would rather make
both work?
You know what? I give up. I'm done.
Playoffs.
First Jamie chair throw. Feels good, doesn't it?
I'm going to rip this mic off the stand, too.
And here comes
Stuff's about to go down.
How about this?
No. I don't listen to you either.
A threat. A team that's a threat.
I meant, would they be willing to not trade said unrestricted free agents for the team to make the playoffs, but then let's say they make the playoffs and lose first round? Is it then same old Cardinals? Like, I don't know what they want.
That's where I'm at. I feel like he's so upset.
It's the 5 o'clock hour in the fast lane.
That's my question. Like, if you are not a championship team, or you're probably a couple of years from that. And then I'm not saying you have to be. When I say a championship team, I'm not talking about you have to win the World Series. Like, competing for a championship, like NLCS, maybe World Series. Prayerfully, you win the World Series. If you're not in that conversation, which the Cardinals, as they are right now, as great as they have been, they're not in that conversation right now. if you get top prospects or a top prospect for a couple of these guys that will not be on your roster next year, what prevents you from making that deal? Why would you then become,
you'd like to make the playoffs.
We're buyers. But you have your job as a front office, you have to prepare, you have to have your team prepared for the present, but also prepare for the future.
Exactly. Your young players should experience playoffs.
They should, but not at the risk of.
If you think one of those guys is the biggest, like if you think that's going to
but that's the scenario that we're having. Like if you're getting one of those guys, like one of those guys that will be an ace or a number 2 in your rotation next year.
Come on. You're not getting that kind of a prospect back for those guys.
Why not?
Well, what if it's an ace down the road? You know what I mean? Like somebody that could be a 4 for you next year.
But an ace in 2 years.
Oh, boy.
Okay, and then let's say he gets injured and then becomes
Now we're out of the
you guys are playing the hypothetical.
You're playing
game
the hypothetical.
on the high end.
We're looking at straight facts, homie. Right here, the Cardinals are a playoff team right now. They're a playoff team.
This is. Yeah, but you have to factor in everything else, though, Marsh. Right? Like if we're gonna make an educated decision on this, right?
I'm just saying I would rather have the team gain playoff experience and then you lose whatever to Steven Matz and Miles. Like I don't care. I don't care if they're helping your team out
and
right
I think
now.
if the price is right, you move Helsley no matter what. Because I think he's the only one that's really fetching you something of value.
Yeah. Gen X said you're not getting anything close to an ace. No, you're not. But I think what Carey's trying to present is if Ryan Helsley, you will get something for Ryan Helsley. I'm telling you right now, you will get something significant. Could it be somebody? Yeah, somebody that is a 5th starter for you next year that eventually has the potential to be, a 1 or 2 in 4 or 5. Yeah. I guess my main point, and this is what I want everybody to take away, is that Carey and I are trying to set up the Cardinals for the future. Year after year after year, we're trying to turn you into a winner. And Marsh and Jamie just want you to stay
right now,
right here, win a wild card,
and then be out in after
and
the
then
first.
Get booted.
That's just not what
unreal
is happening right now.
With this.
Go with.
I'm done with this.
You got that read, right, Carey?
I got it. I'm with you and I, brother.
Thank you.
These two.
Not it at all. It's not even close.
Not even close.
That's terrible on that one.
And your statement, not good enough. Not even close.
Not even close. Terrible take.
Sports.
That should be the show. Terrible take. Not first take. Terrible take.
Waterboy chimed in. He goes, Jamie, tell the Derrick Henry story again.
Waterboy, you just got blocked. Throw him out of the pit. Whoever the admin is, throw him out of the pit.
There's no admin.
You get a 1-day suspension. See you tomorrow, Waterboy.
Waterboy might be the admin.
He might be. Throw yourself out then. Disengage.
Our Sports Six Pack is next. 314-399-9646, the Air Comfort Service text line. Send your questions there. Sixer, part 1 next.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is refreshed by the Finnish Long Drink, Finland's best-kept secret. A sparkling citrus beverage made with real liquor. Visit thelongdrink.com. Must be 21 years of age or older. Drink responsibly.
Time for our Sports Six-Pack, Part 1. Here in Fastlane on 101 ESPN. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. Marshy, hit us with question 1, please.
Question number 1.
All right, we were just talking about bobbleheads for a brief moment there. And we get a question from the 618. At a restaurant I work at, a bartender was given a tip with a Brendan Donovan bobblehead and a Brad Thompson bobblehead. Do you think that is good enough of a tip on a $100 check?
No.
Not
Absolutely
when you probably
not.
got those bobbleheads for free.
No. That's
And I don't know how much a bobblehead costs.
not as
it
much
would have
as...
to be like I don't know. I don't know who it would be, but I don't know that one of the ones that cost that are worth something.
Right.
Yeah, people are cheap, and that's kind of. I do have a question for you. Do you feel that no matter how good the service is or how poor the service is, the tip should be, let's say, minimum 18%, 20%, regardless?
Yeah, I have
Or do you feel that if your server is rude, disrespectful, now I'm not worried about the food being late or you have no control over it, but if you're like rude, slam your food down, do you feel like that person should still be tipped? Because I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I do, but it's just kind of a...
Is it a stern talk? But I feel like
No.
you're approving bad behavior.
I've got a low end that I'll go to, but I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to like stiff them. I just won't go back. I just won't go back. I don't have to waste my time. If the service isn't good, the food isn't good, I won't go back.
Yeah, I get torn. I pray I never have a bad server like that.
Yeah.
I understand they get busy and it's hard for them
But
to.
you can see that.
Yeah,
Be a human.
it's a lot of
you,
people.
but you in general.
Right,
Be a
it's
human
lot of people.
being.
But like just disrespect and rude and nasty. I don't know that you should tip bad behavior. I don't know that you should reward bad behavior.
Yeah, I probably would still tip low and then just again not go back.
Yeah, I probably would ask them, do you think you deserve a tip?
I don't even want to engage because they're probably feel like they did.
Yeah.
So you want to almost like provide them a learning opportunity.
I like confrontation, Anthony. I'm sorry. I'm working on it. That's why I go to therapy.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
But confrontation.
That's why we all go to therapy outside of Marsh.
Like you think you deserve a tip with how rude you've been and how disrespectful you are.
Yeah.
And if that, let me tell you, you don't.
Yeah.
You should go fast lane yourself.
Sorry,
ma'am.
I typically do the 18, 20%. Even if the service is not great. There was one time, and I remember this specifically. I won't give the specific details of it, though. But let's just say the person waiting on me was disrespectful. After I had already put, my tip in, and all of a sudden, like at the very end, there was like a very disrespectful confrontation with the people I was with, and I didn't like it at all. Thought it was not professional at all. And then
Can you provide even more vague details? Sorry, it came out wrong. Could you provide us a little bit more?
Yeah.
So they're being disrespectful and basically complaining about maybe what other people were tipping, like straight to their face. Like, are you saying you need to tip me more?
Yeah, I don't think that that's your fault, what other people did or didn't do.
Right.
And so I'm like, all right, come on. Like, what are you doing here? And so I went Karen mode, and I just mentioned it to the manager. And I never do that. I don't know what. I was just in a bad mood that day. I don't know.
Cardinals lost. Your puzzle got stolen.
Somebody lost that day.
Yeah.
One of my favorite sports teams.
Puzzle.
And the manager said, "Hey, this isn't the first time that this has happened." So that made me feel way better.
See? Bad behavior has been rewarded for that person, so they continued.
You're right.
You don't reward bad behavior. I teach my kids that. You can't reward bad behavior. Think you should get this? With the way you're acting? Hell no. Go sit down.
No, that's a good point.
Hell out of my face.
Splashback Juice also made a great comment. He said, a small tip can be more effective than no tip.
Really?
I think that makes sense. If it's no tip, you're like, this person is awful, blah, 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 blah.
Like $5 and say,
Yeah.
you deserve this.
Like $5 and you're like, hey, listen.
Better.
Just throwing it out there. If you don't care, how will your customers care?
That's a life lesson.
Yeah.
Do you tip on when you carry out? Because that started with COVID.
Yeah.
And these people continue to carry it over because
if it's like a mom and pop shop, I will. Because I feel like they're, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But if it's a big chain, like, come on, no.
It's ridiculous.
What do you want me to tip? You tip or you standing there?
I went to the ballpark. They wanted a tip. What the hell you think
Right.
You think I'm giving you a tip?
Yeah, because I picked it up. I did the work. But if it's a small shop that I like, restaurant that I like.
The guy that brought me my beer down there, I gave him a tip.
Sure.
He's working his butt off. It's hot. Yeah. All right.
It's good life lessons.
Yep.
Do you want to read that?
This other one?
Yeah, because you laughed really hard, and I feel like you're going to go right to question 2.
There was 2 actually that I was chuckling at. The 816 says that was the day Marsh was at the rainout game for 4 hours.
Oh yeah, he was
ticked. That was a bad day. That wasn't the day I was talking about. And then we get a question from the 309. Are you saying BT's bobblehead is worthless?
No. It was. I mean, you know.
What are you saying?
You
said a lot of nothing.
It's made of something, so obviously it's worth something. Yeah. I got a BT bobblehead. I'm very proud of that thing.
For sure.
Yeah.
From 636, if your spouse or girlfriend all of a sudden became the #1 fan of the thing you hate the most, would or could you support that said thing?
What would that be?
Yeah.
So for Anthony, like Dave Matthews Band.
Oh.
I'm not going to support it. Like, she can listen.
You're not
Kristen
going
can
to the
listen
concert?
to it. No, I'm not going to the concert. There's a million Dave Matthews Band fans that
would gladly
find a friend. You have to go.
No, I don't have to go.
You hate them
Do you
that
think
much?
she wants to go to an Alice in Chains concert with me? Hell no.
But she would, because she loves you.
She loves me, but I don't know if she's
not going to
a
that
concert like that. I wouldn't want to put her through it.
It's fair.
I really wouldn't. I wouldn't want her to be miserable at a concert like that. So, I'm probably going to that damn concert, aren't I?
Probably. I think the thing you hate the most.
It's different when it's your kids, though.
Yeah, when it's your kids.
When it's your kids,
you're like, oh God, this is cool.
Regular listeners know this is going to be no secret. I'm not the biggest soccer fan, but Killian loves it. He plays it, and I have found myself recently researching more about the sport.
There you go.
Yeah.
You can take them to a city game. They stand the entire time.
I hear that.
Yeah. It's a good environment.
0-0 draw.
Depends on who they're playing.
1-0. 0-0.
What would that thing be for you, Carey?
The thing that I hate the most, I don't really hate anything that much. Like, there's nothing. I don't know. I try not to live my life with a lot of hate. You know, nothing but love on this side. Learned that in therapy too.
Did you learn it or hear it?
Working towards it. Got a lot of work to do, man. It's working though.
Where is Jamie?
You guys like Jamie?
Normally tells us, like, hey, I got to take this phone call, or hey, I'll be on the road for 9 weeks.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, all right.
He's really good at Irish goodbye.
He is, you're right. Ninja bomb here. All right, go ahead. Might as well get through 3.
Question number 3.
Next one quickly. A Browns-Bengals
really
game.
good.
That's a good one from Waterboy.
I mean, I could watch a Browns-Bengals game.
Because it's still football.
It's still football.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be a Browns fan.
What if it's Vanderbilt and because Zeus says you hate the SEC? So what if it's Vanderbilt, Kentucky? Still football?
Still football. I watched Kentucky play Georgia this year. Yeah. They almost beat them.
Mm-hmm. Not quite much.
I don't know.
From the 573, do you think rivalries are declining across sports? And if so, how do they become relevant again?
You need more villains. Yes, I do think that, and I think you need more legit villains. You need more legit. They don't even have to be villains; you just have to hate them. It's one of the things the WNBA has captured with this Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese rivalry. The Chicago Sky haven't even won a game yet, and they're
talking about them.
They're talking about them.
Yeah. I don't know. I think rivalries are dying if they are because the damn players are too friendly.
That's what I'm saying.
Like in the 80s, I know them glory days, 90s. People, not that they wanted to hurt each other, but they didn't want you to win.
Right.
They didn't give a damn if you limped off or had an elbow to the throat when you're in the NBA. That's okay.
And they certainly weren't going to look
on it.
Be a teammate of yours in the offseason or orchestrate a trade.
No. So, yeah, I think that is part of why rivalries. But I think in college sports, I think the rivalry still, like Michigan, Ohio State is still
You're right.
a rivalry. I know the transfer portal is it's popping, but I don't know of any players that transferred from Alabama to Auburn or Michigan to Ohio State. Like those rivalries, I think still
I agree.
stand.
Yeah, I agree.
I also think like some of the best rivalries, the teams aren't good like they once were. Like Boston and Yankees. Boston's okay, but like it wasn't like they were playing each other in the like when they were playing each other in the playoffs. It seemed like every single year in the early 2000s. That we don't really see
they're
that.
making moves. The Red Sox trying to get A-Rod, the Yankees get him. The Red Sox, they counter with Kurt Schilling. Like they were trying to beat each other in the offseason too. So Yankees make a move, Boston would make a move.
It seems like the teams aren't good at the same time,
right?
At least in this modern day. Like Cubs Cardinals will always be fun because I'm sure Yankees Red Sox same thing with the fans, but I don't know. I just. This is not the same. It's not the same. So, and maybe the Cardinals Cubs rivalry will heat up a little bit this year because both teams are fighting for the first place in the Central. So, and when they play each other coming up here, it should be a good time.
All right, Sports Six Pack Part 2 is next. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. Again, Part 2 of the Sixer next.
Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals take on the Baltimore Orioles tonight. There will be a delayed start. Miles Michaelis on the mound for the Redbirds. We talked about your Cardinals with Brad Thompson earlier today. If you missed that interview or if you missed the interview with Battlehawks head coach Anthony Becht, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and our full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. We have part 2 of our Sports Six Pack coming up next, so get your questions in to the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. We'll do part 2 of the Six Pack next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by
Saliga
Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me.
The Sports Six Pack is refreshed by the Finnish Long Drink, Finland's best kept secret. A sparkling citrus beverage made with real liquor. Visit thelongdrink.com. Must be 21 years of age or older. Drink responsibly.
Time for part 2 of the Sports Six Pack here in the Fast Lane on 101 to ESPN. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. Hit us, Marshy, with question 4, please.
Question number 4.
All right, from the 314, do you like to fly or drive when going on vacation inside the United States? Personally, the 314 likes driving, yet long and tiring, you get more of sightseeing experience.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I did that a lot in my 20s when every off season I'd drive from St. Louis back to Ottawa or to the lake up there. It was like a 17-hour drive. And yeah, I drove a bunch for kids playing hockey up to Minnesota. Yeah, I'm good. I'll take the flight, please.
Every time. Yeah, I'm cool. I drove from Tampa to St. Louis in one day by myself after I got cut. I was so mad. 14 hours. Stopped in Atlanta. Had a Zaxby chicken sandwich and got right back on the road.
Nice.
I was pissed.
Yeah.
I was even more mad when I got home because I was so tired.
Yeah.
I don't want to drive. I've driven a lot as well.
Man, I remember driving from, speaking of Tampa Bay to North Dakota.
No.
Actually, let's rewind it. North Dakota to Tampa Bay back to North Dakota in a car.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
That's a drive.
Oh, it was a hell of a time.
Like anything over 4.5 hours now, like I get out of the car and my knees are like seized up. Yeah. It takes me an hour to like get back to normal. Mm-hmm. So like we'll go to like Ashley's little guy has tournaments, Chicago, Louisville, Nashville. Like those are doable,
5.
But then like Ashley's family is from the Wichita area. Mm-hmm. It's like 6.5. 6.5. And I'm like, it's just that little bit more, and I'm just, I just don't, no
Can't
good.
do it.
No.
I have a 3-year-old. I will drive.
Well, you have 3 kids.
Yeah.
3 kids.
Trust me, that bill.
Yeah.
I would like to drive, please. Yeah.
Yeah, those plane tickets are expensive.
Terrible.
They are.
Whole week for a rental car, about $1,000.
Yeah.
Oh.
3 kids and 2 adults for a plane?
$3,000, $4,000.
Yeah.
Easily.
Easy. You haven't even gotten there yet.
And
I'll drive.
And I'll drive the whole way.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I used to be the same way. I can't be the passenger.
I agree.
No.
Yeah, stop and rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, too. Like, when you're driving, kids will nod off. Kristen will jump on, I don't know, the old Instacart for a while, whatever.
Yeah, nobody
if
has
she drives, it's like, let's talk. And I'm like, which is fine for a little while. Then you just want to kind of zone out or, I don't know, go to sleep.
Well, make sure someone's awake because on my trip home from Tampa Bay to North Dakota, mind you, this is after our hockey team just won the national championship.
Naturally.
So we're we had a good weekend.
Yeah.
We're driving back, and the worst part about going back is actually the trip going back.
Yes.
It's always bad.
It's always the worst. And I'm sitting in the front seat. Everybody's asleep in the back. And so is our driver for a good 5 seconds. As I'm on my phone, and I just hear, the rumble strip. And I look over, and my buddy is driving, got his eyes closed as we're going on the rumble strip. And I grabbed the steering wheel and just slowly pulled us right back onto the road.
Good for you for not panicking.
And I go, hey. He's like, what? I go,
time to switch.
Hey, you're sleeping while driving. He's like, oh, yeah. He's like, I should probably stop driving. I go,
yeah.
No blank.
Yeah.
We pulled off, got some McDonald's, and we switched.
Oh, man. Dude, my roommate in college, I think I've shared this story, but he and some of his buddies were in high school. They were in Detroit, and they would drive up to Central Michigan. There's a casino up there. So they would go to the casino and then go home to Detroit. About 2.5 hours, 3 hours. Not bad.
Yeah.
Unless you're up all night,
Gambling.
Gambling. So buddies were in the back seat. My roommate was in the passenger seat. He fell asleep. Driver falls asleep. He hits a tree. And my buddy, he was kind of leaning up against the window. His head goes through the window. His tinnitus in his right ear.
I remember you telling that story.
Which is a ringing that will never go away. So not great. So just be careful out there.
That's why I always if I'm with multiple people, someone's driving, I always try and I don't try and sleep.
Yeah.
If I'm the passenger,
I can't.
Be careful.
I want to.
I won't. Man, I'm too much of a control freak.
I'm right there with you.
It's big of you to admit that.
I really am.
I'm right there.
I'd rather drive.
I'll do it.
I'd rather
And when
drive.
I get tired, we'll stop.
Yeah. I'm with you.
And then I'll drive some more.
I'm totally with
You
you.
and I have never been more in lockstep with each other right now.
Samesies. I'm with you.
I don't give a damn.
I'm with you.
I'll drive this thing.
As soon as I get tired, I'm like, we're done.
Yep.
Done for the day.
Well, I can drive. No.
Park's closed, folks. Moose outside. Should have told you.
We're done.
We're done here.
Yeah.
Question number 5.
All right, from the 314, why do you guys like to fast lane on the Cards and give a parade for the Blues?
What?
I think people.
What are you talking about?
I'll answer.
Okay.
I'll answer. I think people tune in. First of all, I've learned a lot in my time doing radio over these last 3 years. It has helped me in my life to grow as a person.
Oh, wow.
I have learned that even when you're in the same room with someone, you can say something and they don't hear you. So imagine you're on air, somebody's driving or they're doing other things, other activities while they're working.
Cutting the grass.
And sometimes people miss things.
Yeah.
And so my anger that I used to have for people when I would say something and they would misquote me, not nearly as bad. Because it happens so frequently on this text line. We have literally, I would say, I don't know, Cardinals been winning a lot of games lately. We've been talking about how great they are.
Yeah.
How phenomenal this team is.
How much fun they are.
Steven Matz, you talked about Liberatore today. I've been talking about Walker. You love the whole damn team. I gave Ali praise. I gave Mo praise. Thought we were going to get shut down by some people earlier. We didn't.
Tough when you praise Mo.
It is.
It is.
I took a risk.
You did.
And it went okay. So to the texter, I'm sorry that you didn't hear us giving the Cardinals praise. The Blues haven't played, I don't know, Jamie, 2 weeks now?
No.
It's been a while.
We haven't really talked much about the Blues here. And so maybe this is,
I don't think we talked about the Blues all day today, really.
I don't think we have.
Here and there. You met,
there are a couple of
mentions.
mentions.
Talk more about City.
But we give praise to the Cardinals. I'm sorry that you didn't hear our segments over the last 2 or 3 weeks where we've been giving praise to the Cardinals. Not a parade because, we don't have the power to throw a parade on.
We could. We could try.
I mean, traffic was already backed up. I don't think they want us to have a parade out there.
Yeah.
And to be fair about all this, the Cardinals have been really bad for a couple of years. And when the Blues were bad, at least the Blues told us, hey, we're going to be bad, and we're going to work at getting better.
Yeah. So, to the texter, I'm sorry that you feel that way.
Well done. All right. What we learned, 3 stars today, next on 101 ESPN. Right now, during their Bloom and Vroom sales event, you can score big at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum with no payments for 6 months on select new Nissans, no payments for 3 months on used vehicles, a complimentary new car lifetime warranty, a 30-day new car return promise, and 3 oil changes included on every new Nissan. If your credit has seen better days, no worry. Their credit experts can help almost any situation at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. You can check them out online at autocentersnissan.com. Here's the best part. Over 800 new and used vehicles are all there in one easy location. I'm not just talking about at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. I'm talking about in Herculaneum, where they've got all those vehicles right there on the lot. So there's no lot hopping, no headaches, no, this car is actually in North Dakota and we've got to go get it and we'll have it here in 3 weeks. No, none of that at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. Tell them Stalter sent you when you do head out there. But again, check them out online first at autocentersnissan.com. Auto Centers Nissan, where the inventory is big, the savings are bigger, and the nonsense is nowhere to be found.
Are you into collecting sports memorabilia, maybe getting autographs from some of your favorite players, whether it's the Blues or Mizzou or even maybe UFC fighters? Well, I've got the event for you. Starting Friday, May 30th, we have the St. Louis Sports Show. It's going to be over in Chesterfield at the Doubletree Hilton Hotel. And players will be getting together for 3 days straight to sign things and be there and take pictures. And it starts off on Friday, May 30th. Grant Fuhr going to be at 4 p.m., former Blues goalie, Hall of Fame goaltender, my old teammate. Just an awesome dude, too. When you stop by, get your autograph, your picture, ask him about his golf game. He's a huge golfer. Loves to talk about that. Has a couple of favorite courses here in town as well. Ryan O'Reilly will also be there throughout the weekend. You can also look for UFC legend Matt Hughes and St. Louis City star goalie Roman Berkey, along with several of his teammates, will be there as well. Going to be lots of card vendors. The St. Louis Ambush will be there. Going to be some silent auctions available, raffles, giving away sports ticket, and of course, Wayno's International Cuisine food truck will be there Saturday and Sunday, serving excellent food. So please, if you check it out online at stlsportshow.com, make sure you enter the promo code FASTLANE at checkout. Gets you 30% off any player signing when you use that discount. So again, check out everything at stlsportshow.com.
missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com or the 101 ESPN Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's mobile app. All the podcasts, of course, brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. Time to find out what everybody learned, starting with me. I learned that Carey and I love you, Cardinals fans, and want the best for your team.
Indeed.
And we want to make the Cardinals a competitive champion for the foreseeable future.
Yep.
Carey and I believe that.
We do.
Well, Marsh and Jamie want you guys to be good for a year, this year.
One and done.
And that's it.
They don't care about you.
Liar! Be a wild card team and then be kicked right out of the playoffs.
That's a very good thing that you learned.
Thank you, Carey.
I learned that one of our partners here doesn't like when you answer questions, or does like when you answer questions. He gets mad either way.
Yep.
Throws chairs.
Angry.
Got pissed off because we answered the question. Didn't want us to answer it after he asked us to answer it.
Yep.
It's weird.
So what I learned today, a couple things. In fact, I learned today that not only sometimes do the listeners hear what they want to hear, sometimes my own showmates decide they're going to hear what they want to hear and just ignore, I don't know, the facts. I also learned that even I have a threshold and that I'm not above throwing a chair in the studio when said co-hosts hear what they want to hear.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it sure is. Sorry. Chair should have been made better.
Day.
I learned that Anthony does soccer research. Yeah.
He does.
Does soccer research. We actually got a text from 618. Anthony Googling sweaty men in short shorts and calling it soccer research is an odd take.
No, I would just say I'm Googling.
Not far off.
I would just tell you flat out, I'm Googling
Sweaty
dudes in shorts. I would say, you know what? I was Googling sweaty dudes in shorts the other day. Eventually got to my soccer research. I would say it that way.
How long until you got to the soccer research?
Oh, hours. It's a wide range, you know? Not just talking about American sweaty dudes in shorts.
No.
You know, there's
no limits.
There's no limits.
No, you're right.
All right, go ahead.
It's time for the Fast Lane's 3 Stars of the Day. Presented by Circus Sports Illinois. Sports betting the way it should be.
All right, our third star of the day goes out to Anthony Googling sweaty men in short shorts.
Yes.
Our second star of the day goes out to the years 2000 to 2025.
Yes. Quarter century.
And our first star of the day goes out to Caretaker.
Caretaker.
Oh, yes. The caretaker of the team.
Well done, Splashback Deuce. Yeah. Oh, man. Well, they'll do it for us here in the Fast Lane. We appreciate
Marshy, too. He's done for the week.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you're Friday today, huh, Marsh?
Is it? No.
Jeez, look at you. This week you got a smile. This didn't even wear a hat today. You dressed up.
Got here.
For Andrew Marsh, for Gary Davis, for Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. See you.